It's kind of one of those albums. It's like, okay, like if it's on, I'm not going to change it, but it's not necessarily going to be the one I reach for if I want to listen to the Rolling Stones.
Yeah. I would say I agree with you on most of it, but It's Only Rock and Roll, but I Like It is it's one of those songs that just makes me want to punch something, but not in a positive way. Like, it's like, yeah, I get you're dismissing this entire art form with this song, guys. It's okay. You sold all your records. It's fine. Fuck you. But beyond that, it's just very middle of the road.
Greetings and welcome to Old Drunken Discography, where old friends and fans come together to BS, argue, occasionally agree, and discuss a musical artist. Some upcoming artists we are covering are Bikini Kill, Jimi Hendrix, Jimmy Eat World, and Mr. Bungle. If those interest you, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. We need more subscribers, so do us a solid. Today's artist is the Rolling Stones. We will be ranking 26 studio albums, going by the US releases, and including the blues album, because that seems to be the thing to do. Now, I've read Dreamcatcher. I know the gang's theme song was Sympathy for the Devil, so I know you are a Stones fan, Mr. King. Let us know on Twitter what is your favorite Rolling Stones album. Did you hear Hackney Diamonds? ODD wants to know, Mr. King. So, with me today, he's going to rip this joint, Tim.
Oh, yeah.
His love is strong. Cold quit.
And I'm huge.
He's a street fighting man. That's Jason.
Oh, that was my art one for you. All right.
Well, it's not like you don't have plenty to choose from.
Yeah, that's true.
So true.
The ODD Discord has been popping off lately, so we want to give a Discord shout out to Brian US and Ed W72. It's 100% free to join. You can chat with us, show off your record collection, and see our upcoming artist schedule. We're always looking for special guests to join us for episodes, so if you see a band on the list and want an excuse to hang with us and talk about them, let us know in the Discord. So, let's get started. This is the biggest discography we've covered. We're going to try and split it up in multiple videos. If needed, we're playing it by ear. We'll also release a shorter video just showing our ranking for those people who don't like all the data and just want the results. So, with that, Tim, what is your relationship with the Rolling Stones?
Oh, wow. Well, I think I started doing the deep dive into this discography in my 20s. It just seemed like the right thing to do at the time. And as a musician, there's a lot to learn here. As a drummer, Charlie Watts is super influential on style and approach and feel. They've kind of become one of the most important bands, I think, not only in my life, but I mean, I'll go on record and say it. I think they're the greatest rock and roll band there is. And just the sheer size of this discography alone is a big reason for that. So, yeah, it's a positive relationship that has been with me my whole life. So,
I grew up with the Stones. My dad played these records, and then I got them. So, Some Girls is just ingrained in my head. One of my first CDs he bought me was Voodoo Lounge, so that one has a lot of nostalgia for me. And yeah, I haven't done a deep dive into all these albums until the past 3 weeks. So a lot of this was new.
Word. Yeah, I was ambivalent towards this band, and I still kind of am. But I've never actually listened to a whole record. One of their songs comes on the radio or whatever, I enjoy it and I vibe to it. But I never cared enough to go look into actual records too much. So this was my first time hearing all of these records, except for Hackney Diamonds, because we reviewed that previously. So for me, this was an entirely new experience.
Yeah, Joe he listened to Hackney Diamonds for our 2023 review. He was like, that was really good. Well, yeah, it's the Stones. All right,
Well,
so
we'll get into that, I guess.
we'll get into that a couple hours later. So now we're going to do our color coding.
Jesus. I'm sorry, Jason. This is going to be work. It's a lot.
What's your colors then?
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
I went 1 through 11 are green. 12 through 21 are yellow, and I'll repeat it if you need me to.
Oh yeah, because I got to scroll way over here.
Yeah. It's a lot.
11
1
back
through
is
11
green.
green. Yeah.
These are the
And
must-hears.
then got 12 through 21 as yellow. Because I just feel like if you like the band, you'll like all of the records. But if you don't like the band, like the top 11, you should definitely check out anyway.
12 through 21 are yellow?
Yes. And then 22 through 26 will be reds because I don't see the point in listening to them.
Do not recommend.
And we'll get to that. We'll get to why pretty quickly.
Of course.
Mine are 1 through 12 are green, so I'm not too far from you.
Yeah. And honestly, like it could be 1 through 13 even could be green, but yeah, I had to draw a line somewhere.
And then the rest are yellow. Maybe we should do this off camera.
You got the editing bay. You can take care of it.
Nah, people like to watch the color changes. All right, Tim, what about you?
Well, I think I'm gonna do 1 through 17 green, and then the rest I'll do yellow.
One through 17.
And yeah, I know. I realize I'm saying that's 17 albums you need to hear, but
I mean, what?
why
I mean,
not?
really, where do you draw the line? Like,
yeah, exactly. I could make them all
12,
green.
11. It's still a lot of
I
records.
could make them all green if we really wanted to. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Dun 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 dun.
All right, that was fun. So let's just get right into it. Starting off with 1964's England's newest hitmakers. Tim, this was your pick, kinda.
Yeah. Working on finding my notes real quick. Sorry.
I'll go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So, first album, some decent covers. One original song, nothing too special. This is no Doors or Led Zeppelin 1 or even an Aerosmith self-titled debut album. But I love the Buddy Holly cover. The fact that they started their career off with a Buddy Holly cover is pretty cool. Muddy Waters cover was better. Route 66 was fine. Nice Chuck Berry cover. The Tell Me is the only Rolling Stones pen song, and it's okay. It sounds like 1964. And Walking the Dog might be a hot take, but I prefer Aerosmith's cover more. So that's all my
Okay.
notes for that one.
Yeah, I have nothing to add. It's a covers record. That's
Yeah, it is. It's a covers record. It's obviously like early 60s. Singles were still the thing of the day. So this technically wasn't recorded all at the same time or even in the same studio.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just a young cover band learning the basics of rock and roll.
Look how professional they look. We'll get to that. All right, it is my. Oh, how am I going to do this here? I guess I'm going to take it from here. It's my number 23.
Word. I put it at 25.
I also put it at 25.
Nice.
All right. 12 by 5.
I mean, same story. This wasn't an album that came out in the UK. It's an EP and some singles that they cobbled together as a compilation for the US market. Let's see here. There's 3 Jagger Richards originals on here, so you're going to start to see, the songwriting team develop. But obviously, they haven't come into their own yet. Haven't had like a real like hit that they wrote yet. So still mostly a covers album. If you like the '60s, you're gonna love it. It's top of the charts, good stuff. But yeah, if you're not into the '60s basic blues cover bands, you're gonna find better stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I got. Around and Around, it's a pretty weak cover of Chuck Berry this time. Confession of the Blues was a decent cover. Time Is on My Side was a great song, great cover.
That's a classic, yeah.
Good Times, Bad Times, got some Keith Riss in this one. Nothing too crazy yet, but it's something. Congratulations, wasn't a fan of, or Grown Up. Susie Q, maybe a hot take, but I think CCR did it better.
I'm glad you said that because I felt that way too about it. But yeah.
Yep. This album had some stronger songs on it with 3 OG songs, but overall I like the cover choices on the first album better. So
okay.
See, I prefer the covers on this one better. I think Under the Boardwalk's always a classic. Same with Time Is on My Side is a haunting and wonderful classic, and they do a really good rendition of it. But yeah, it's still just a bunch of cover songs with 3 originals.
this one was my number 25.
It's my number 24.
I'm also at number 24.
Yay!
I swear, if you guys match up 26 records,
Dude, I will
cancel the show.
Dude, I'll be shocked if we match 5. If we match 5, I'll be okay with it. That's a success in my book.
I'm just going to go ahead and block this over here so I have it next time. All right, so Rolling Stones.
Now. They're my Rolling Stones, and I want them now.
Everybody needs somebody to love. It's fun. You get another decent Chuck Berry cover with You Can't Catch Me. Heart of Stone was decent. It's an OG song. What a Shame was an okay blues original. It had some fun licks in it. You got Off the Hook, good original. It's probably my favorite original up to this point. Surprise was just okay. I did like the energy in the chorus. We got 4 originals this time with a few decent covers. So this one edged out the others for me a little bit.
Oh.
They're getting there.
This is actually my least favorite of the covers collections records, honestly.
What about you, Tim? Was it your least favorite too?
No, it wasn't actually.
See, there we go.
I think there are better versions of it out there, but I think their version of Little Red Rooster is awesome. And I think that with these first 3 compilations that are really kind of charting the early days, you really do see a growth happening, not only with the songwriting and the cover choices and all that, but also just the recording techniques. And they're almost there. I think they just keep kind of improving with each of these releases. I still think that, overall in the grand scheme of things, they're towards the bottom, but they're still really good. And each additional one, we've got like these 3 releases came out with a span of 18 months.
Yeah.
It's real quick,
Mhm.
and you can hear them really developing as a band, and I enjoy that. So I put it at number 23.
Oh, well.
I put it at number 20.
Wow. Damn. It's my 26.
Oh,
I just,
wow.
it just didn't do anything for me. I don't know. Maybe I was getting burnt out already on all the cover songs by the time I heard it. That might have had something to do with it. I don't know. But
All right, up next we got December's Children.
wait, do we have? I thought out
Did I
of our
skip
head.
one? Out of our heads, yep.
Out of
Yeah,
our
Out
head.
of Our Heads is next.
There's so many.
There is.
All right, Out of Our Heads. Go for it, Cole. Quit.
I ain't got. I don't really have much. I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's so many records that it's hard to really like, especially these early ones, to really focus on anything. I mean, this has "I Can't Get No Satisfaction" on it, which is one of the most iconic songs of their entire discography, and it came so early. Um, and I love that song. But yeah, I appreciate this record because it does. You can hear them definitely, like Tim said with Now, you can definitely hear them working towards an identity musically that is their own, and I like it. It's a pretty dang good record.
Oh, look at that.
That's impressive.
I don't have that one.
Nice.
This
Yeah,
is the
I mean,
50th
Mercy's awesome.
anniversary, the 50th anniversary pressing of the Can't Get No Satisfaction single includes both the US and UK B-sides.
Nice.
see, I had
Pretty
no
cool.
idea Satisfaction was that early in their career.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's wild.
it's really the one that put them on the map.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if it's the best song on this album, though.
Oh, I don't know about
It is,
that either.
it is a classic, but so is The Last Time. So is The Spider and the Fly.
Mhm.
What else is on there? Yeah, The Last Time. That's kind of top tier. Top tier Rolling Stones, as is Satisfaction. Cry to Me is really good. Yeah, I mean, this is really I would almost consider really the beginning of what would become the Rolling Stones.
Mhm.
This isn't the best of the early stuff, but we're getting there.
Oh, yes, we are. Agree.
Yeah, you still got your covers. There's a Marvin Gaye cover. The Last Time was a great pop song original. Sounds a little like early Beatles. Vocal sounds off though, especially like right before. That's How Strong My Love Is. I don't know the original, but it's a decent song. Um, Not a fan of a random live song in the middle of an album though. With I'm All Right. Satisfaction. Yeah, I had no idea the song was this far back. Love it. It's one of those songs you think of when you think of the Stones. Play with Fire. I was a little boring. The Spider and the Fly was freaking great. Super fun original blues song. And One More Try. I wasn't a fan of this one, but the vocal melody was a little bit annoying on it. But yeah, they're getting there. This was my number 22.
How strange. It was my number 22 too. But now that I'm thinking about it, that should be yellow, not red. Um, it should not be red. There we go. That's better. About you, Timmy?
We're on Out of Our Heads.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, I am going with 20.
All right, now we are on December and everybody's children.
Yes, we are. And I don't remember where I put that. Oh, I do. Okay.
I think She Said Yeah is a great opener. Get Off My Cloud is an absolute classic, as is As Tears Go By. Um, each side kind of ends with a live song, which, again, we got a US release here. This isn't a real album.
I did prefer this version of Route 66 though over
Yeah, same.
the other one.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's a fun album. I like it a lot. It's you can really tell that production wise, they're really starting to come into their own around this time as well. I think pretty much from here on out, you've got like a modern to the year production techniques going on that are always interesting. So yeah, it's around this time that I think that kicks in.
You got a Sonny Bono cover,
Yeah, yeah.
another Chuck Berry cover, another great Muddy Waters cover. The Singer Not the Song, it's the early Stones. I like that one. Again, it's very Beatles sounding, but you got to love that 60s pop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Get Off My Cloud, that's a classic, Stone song. It's another one you think of. As Tears Go By, this is one of the earliest examples of how great Jagger Richards songwriting can be. That's all my notes say. Blue Turns, Gotta Get Away are just okay. I do really like the melody of the chorus in Blue. And the last track is a live version of the cover songs. Yeah, whatever. We're still not in the greens yet for me.
Huh. Well, I guess I'll be different. Yeah, I thought this was the first thing that I was like, yeah, okay, I can get behind this band when I heard this record. And I did go chronologically too, so it kind of helped that I don't know. Yeah, the production on it just kicked. And yeah, like you said, Route 66, best version of that. Um, yeah, just all around. And dude, hey, you get off my cloud. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you
Hey, you.
get off my cloud, dude. Like, I love that song. It's so good.
It's my number 21.
Word. It's my number 10.
Holy crap.
Yeah, dude.
Way over here.
It's on up there for me.
I'm at 19 on this one.
I just think of all the classics, this is the one that you should hear out of the first kind of explosion of Rolling Stones records.
That's fair. Yeah. It's a good starting point.
Aftermath is my starting point.
That's fair.
Here we go. First album, no covers. It's a huge turning point. It's where the Stones will start for me. You can't say shit about Paint It Black. It's top tier, even 57 years later.
1
Stupid
billion
Girl.
plays on Spotify, by the way. Paint It Black is their top song with over 1 billion plays on Spotify. It's one of the few songs at that level. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Stupid Girl. So I was doing research for this video. They were taking a lot of shit for misogamy around this time. Instead of trying to, refute it, they leaned in and gave the critics something to really go at. This is a really interesting album, almost a concept record, really, lyrically. There's sex for pleasure, for power, for love and hate, insecure masculinity. Just the vast differences in lyrical content between Stupid Girl and Lady Jane shows a snippet of this. Stupid Girl is a fun little rocker against the acoustic ballad of Lady Jane. Under My Thumb's another top tier Stone song. Don't You Bother Me had a western feel, like a saloon sounding piano. I'm a sucker for that. Guitar slides, that harmonica. I dug it. Think was okay. The production was weird on it. Like Mick was like way too low in the mix. Same with Flight 505. He just doesn't sound too great here. The music's great. Loved High and Dry. It's simple, but the harmonica carries that one, making it more interesting than it should be. It's not easy. It was just okay. I'm Waiting. Wasn't a fan. Going Home, even though it's over 11 minutes, the song never falters. The fact that the album closes on this track, ends this loose story on a happy note. I really enjoyed this album, and as far as our rankings, this one is miles above anything that has come before. I haven't explained my point system, but I have like a hidden point system that I put behind all these as to how I ranked them. I don't want to get into the right and wrongs of this song or the album as a whole and its interpretations of mixed real life at the time, especially in 2023. But dude literally wrote, lyrically at least, a pop punk emo album about his relationship, using metaphors and showing multiple feelings and sides. It's almost like Blink 182's Untitled is a homage to this record. Because of this, that makes this record really interesting for me. I wish the Stones had more clout back then. The original album cover was going to be Jesus walking on water. That would still be talked about today, but the studio shut them down like multiple album arts. I guess we'll get into that later, but I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, I agree with you for the most part. I just like Painted Black is just, dude, come on. It's like one of the greatest, heaviest songs ever, man. It's so good. And Stupid Girl's awesome. Lady Jane kind of made me a little fuddled, like, pinched on the, not sure whether you should be like offended or like flattered, like that's the vibe I got. It was, I don't understand why that song exists, but Under My Thumb Is a Fire. Flight 505 was really good. I really liked that one. And High and Dry was great too. And It's Not Easy is awesome as well. And yeah, Going Home was just crazy long and awesome. But yeah, super, the beginning, the aftermath of a relationship, but the beginning of the Rolling Stones, in my opinion, for sure. That's your Timmy. I'm done.
I mean, I agree with everything you guys said, but I really can't say much else because it's in my top 5.
There we go.
First top 5.
Yeah, there we go, guys.
For those just tuning in, we keep our top hidden depending on the album,
Top 10
number
for
of
this.
albums. So we're gonna keep the top 5 hidden till the end.
Yeah.
All right.
Where you got it? Where you got it at, Jason?
It's my number 13.
13.
Slide on down here.
A yellow.
Wow. I went with a point system.
I know. And honestly,
I mean, really, that could be green too, honestly.
I had it ranked lower on my initial list, and then like I did a scan through and like reminded myself of all the songs on each album, and it jumped up tremendously at that second play. It's my number 11. It's right underneath the last one. I don't know why it got there. I think this was one of those records where I was like, the point system came into play, and I just like the other one better somehow. I don't remember why. Between the Buttons.
Between the Buttons. About this one, Tim? Can you talk about this one?
Yeah, of course. I can't. I mean, I could talk about them all. Yeah, I can talk about this one, and I think it starts off really strong. Let's Spend the Night Together, Yesterday's Papers, Ruby Tuesday are all top tier Rolling Stones songs. This one it slips a little bit for me on the B side. This is actually out of all of these early ones, this is one where I usually go to the UK release. It's got a different track listing. My notes are all over the place. I'm so sorry. Yeah, it's a fun album, and I think that especially for 1967, They're really kind of on the forefront of the recording techniques going on that year. That's going to be a really fun year to go through when we get to it. A lot of great stuff came out in '67, and I think this is right up there with it all. It's a great album.
Yeah, Let's Spend the Night Together. My note says reminds me of a 70s or 80s TV sitcom song, which isn't a bad thing at all. One day we need to do a video on our favorite sitcom songs. Family Matters, anyone? Yesterday's Papers, Ruby Tuesday, I love the recorder throughout that song. It's just a sweet song Keith wrote. Mick goes into some deeper octaves and parts. It's classic. Connection, wasn't really a fan of. She Smiled, just a sweet poppy love song. Nothing that special, but not bad. Cool, Calm, and Collected. Love that ragtime piano. This one's super fun. All Sold Out was decent as well. My Obsession, they lost me on this one lyrically. No idea what they were getting at with this one. Still a fun song, though, with the pauses and the drumming coming in before everyone else. Who's Been Sleeping Here? I love the storytelling in this one, like, oh, the soldier, the sailor, and then there's the Three Musketeers. They'll now tell me now who's been sleeping here. Bunch of snitches up in this song. Complicated. Love this one. Woman seems to fill her mind and many men in so short time, but she's underrated. Very positive song about a woman that got him spun. Miss Amanda was a decent little rocker. Something Happened to Me Yesterday. Something oh so groovy. Yeah, this one time stamped itself. Fun closer, though. Not as good as the Aftermath closer. It's kind of a good lead in to the next album, honestly.
Yeah.
This is a weird one for me. It was super poppy and in direct contrast to the previous one. It's decent, has a few high points here and there, but overall not one I would reach for very often.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same, except I thought Yesterday's Papers was great. Let's Spend the Night Together, Ruby Tuesday, awesome. My Obsession I thought was really good. Cool, Calm, and Collected. Nobody mentioned that one. I really liked that song. It was really nice. And then Something Happened to Me Yesterday I loved, but I also love where it goes after this. So that's as a lead in to the next record for sure. Like that's probably why I liked it so much. Yeah, I thought this was a really good record. Super good.
All right, so looking at my notes, the point difference between 13 and yeah, there's a huge point difference. I think that one should have been great. I think the Covers album screwed me up at the end.
Oh, yeah. I got you.
I think it shifted
That's
everything
what's throwing
down.
my list off here too. I'm like, wait, what number am I on?
One should have been green. Buttons was my 15.
15 word. It's my number 9.
It's your number 9.
Mm-hmm. I really dug it.
We are going to be completely flipped when we get to the 70s, aren't
Maybe we will see.
We've got a lot.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I honestly like. I feel like it gets better and better as it goes, but then there's like some lulls in the middle of the decades. We'll get there. Yeah.
All right, Tim. What about you?
My number 10.
What?
I have to like. Our people at home can't see what I'm doing down here, but I'm gonna slide these tabs over
They
because
don't need to.
damn tabs. All right, so up next we got Your Satanic Majesty's Request.
I can't talk about this one, so you guys can have fun.
Clearly their most psychedelic album, also 1967. I do kind of like that instead of all the hippie flower power stuff. They went in the completely opposite direction with their psychedelia. I think it starts off really strong. Sing This All Together is great. Citadel is great. In Another Land is great. 2000 Man, it's kind of slows down there a little bit for me. And then you get like the little reprise. Side 2 is where I think that this album really shines, though. She's a Rainbow is top tier, and 2000 Light Years from Home is top tier. And On With the Show is a great closer. The Lantern's really cool. It's a fun, dark, psychedelic album that, if you like this, I would suggest seeking out some different recordings, like live versions, studio outtakes. There's some of these songs you can hear a lot better without some of the production on this album. It gets a little distracting at times, but overall, I think it's a fantastic album that's super important.
I'm the opposite. This is a bootleg Sgt. Pepper Magical Mystery Tour crap. You go back, you listen to Revolver, you can hear the natural progression into Sgt. Pepper. This comes out of fucking nowhere. They're chasing a trend. Blah. Citadel, wasn't a fan of this one. In Another Land, the vocal effects are weird and interesting, but it's not my vibe. 2000 Man, I really like this one. There's a hidden gem on the album. The lyrics are spot on for what happened in the 2000s. Predicted some shit like The Simpsons did. Do not like the beginning acoustic section more than what it turns into, but still a hidden gem. Sing This All, hated this one. Long psychedelic jam, not for me at all. She's a Rainbow, it's okay once it gets going. The Beatles Peppers influence is strong on this one. The Lantern and Gomper just feel like bits and pieces of ideals smashed together, which is kind of this whole album, what they were going through with the recording. 2000 Light Years from Home, decent lyrics, but again, the music really suffered. And Bootleg Sgt. Pepper's a huge step down from the previous two albums. It doesn't sound authentic. It sounds like keeping up with the trends, so it lost a lot of points for that one.
Dude, everybody was taking LSD at the time, man. It's okay. It wasn't a trend. It was just the culture.
It was, just everybody put out their psychedelic.
Maybe they shouldn't be taking LSD because it did not help them write an album.
Oh, Lord. You're really going to
look at that album cover, man. Hey, guys, the Beatles did this.
Cover. That album
the
cover
Beatles did this. We should do it too.
Cora agrees with me.
No, she only barks when we say trash. She knows what's up.
Or when the person in my human zoo of an apartment complex has somebody walking their dog right outside.
Of course, yeah.
That's really what it is.
It's my 24.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Jason. We got to get you on drugs, man. We got to do this.
If you got to be on drugs to listen to an album, it's not a good album.
No, it's not. You don't have to be on drugs to listen to it.
If you got to be on drugs to like an album, it's not a good album.
No, you don't have to be on drugs to like it. I just feel like you should open your mind, man. I'm just kidding, dude. I don't know.
I did when I was 15 when I heard Sgt. Pepper and Magical Mystery Tour.
See, I think that's the pop version of this record. I think
I would
of that.
Yeah, this is this is kind of like the punk rock version of 1967.
Yeah,
in a way, where they are like
Barrett. It's not Sid Barrett level of punk rock in the 60s, but it's up there.
No, but that's coming later.
That it is.
Yeah.
Where'd you put it, Tim?
See, it's my number 8.
We're gonna have. I guess we should take a commercial break. Bring the energy level down a little bit,
And actually, right before we do, I will close with In Another Land. Felt like it could have been on a Sid Barrett album.
It's true.
Going back through that was the one thing that really jumped out at me about that one specific track. Like, oh, this is very Floyd early days.
Yeah.
London 67. It was just the thing.
A lot of good times, man. I was there.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Who Sell Out? Yeah. Get some baked beans and go party.
This is not the Who Sell Out. I'll tell you that now.
No, but
yeah, no.
This is the Rolling
So
Stones.
few are.
Gosh.
All right, with that, we're going to get you started back up with a commercial break. Welcome back. Hopefully you got to see that wonderful ad without us getting copyright struck.
It's going to make your life better.
It's going to start you up.
You know, it does make a grown man cry because I'm a grown man and it made me cry.
Yeah, Internet 95 made all of us cry.
Actually, I miss the old internet way more than I like the new one.
Those AOL chats, man, they was lit.
It was.
Bring back the chat room.
Bring back Angel Fire. Bring back GeoCities.
Bring
back
Netscape.
news groups and
ASL.
message boards. And bring back frames.
FTP sites.
Man.
Yeah. All right, so Beggars Banquet.
I
mean, it's a banger.
It
starts off strong.
It's got one of my least favorite Rolling Stone songs ever on it. But
what's
that?
Different
time, different lyrics. Stray Cat Blues. It's literally a song about having sex with 14-year-old girls. It's awful. And I hate it that it exists. But the music's really great. Just lyrically, I just hate it musically. Musically, it's awesome. Sympathy for the Devil, banger. Parachute Woman's really good. Street Fighting Man, banger. Factory Girl's pretty fun too. I like Salt of the Earth. I like a lot of this record. This record's really great. And if I ignore the lyrics in Stray Cat Blues, I enjoy that song too.
Sympathy for the Devil. I mean, come on. One of the best Stone songs ever. I love the apathy of no expectations. The music goes with the lyrics perfectly. It's lazy, slowed down, slight country feel to it. Just works. Dear Doctor doesn't do much for me, but it's not bad. I love that saloon feel. Jigsaw Puzzle, love the lyrics. Reminded me of Kim and I's old apartments because we had some weird people as neighbors. Daniel.
My brother?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, he's a weird dude. So, yeah. Totally.
Street Fighting Man, again, classic, top tier. Prodigal Son, great storytelling blues song. Stray Cat Blues, questionable lyrics, but musically, some of the best on the album. So we're eye to eye on that one. Factory Girl, a little Irish flair. And Factory Girls back in the day don't mess around. Like the Flog and Molly song, short and fun. Salt of the Earth, amazing closer. Love that working class feel of this record. No matter whatever the hell that last album was, we entered a new era of the Stones. I think Brian Jones and his issues really hurt this album, though. I know there's a lot of Brian Jones fans, but there was a lot of instrumentation choices that were a little odd, like on Parachute and Jigsaw. Still, though, the album is fantastic. So, it's pretty high.
This is the last one he really contributes to. He plays like the congas on the next album, but
I heard he would like show up and just like bring a random instrument that he wanted to play that day, and they just kind of worked it in. And
I got a soft spot in my heart for Brian Jones. I share a birthday with him, and so I, you got to keep track of those guys. He also kind of, beat everybody to the 27 Club shortly after this, so. This is Sympathy for the Devil is classic, and Street Fighting Man is like, it's just total punk rock. That's a great song. Salt of the Earth is one of their best closers. It's one of those songs I think that people kind of forget about until you hear it, and then you're like, oh yeah, this thing's awesome. This is a really fun album. It's a really good one. And yeah, you're right. This really does feel like a new page has been opened in the career that I think this might be the opening of the door where the next album is, completely walking through it. Yeah, it's a really good album. Sounds great. The production's fantastic. I've got it at number 9.
Well, I'm right above you at 8. That's my number 8.
It's my number 8 as well.
Yay! No disagreements on this one. It's a solid ass record.
Solid album, yeah. Definitely a top 10 album in this big ass discography.
Yeah, for real. I mean, there's a stretch of top 10 albums that I think we're just kind of starting right now.
Yeah.
Let it bleed.
Yo, Give Me Shelter. Yo, Love in Vain's even good. I mean, it's a little slower, but it's nice. Country Honk is hilarious to me for some reason, but I do enjoy it very much. Let It Bleed, can't go wrong. Midnight Rambler, can't go wrong. And of course, you can't always get what you want, which is always and forever going to be associated with this band as a high point. Like, it's just a classic ass jam, man. Yeah, I mean, it's a good damn record, man. I don't know what else to say. What y'all got?
When we get to the artwork, I'm going to give a shout out to the Facebook group Rolling Stones Data, because I got a lot of history on this album more. But
oh, nice. Excellent.
Nice.
For the music, Give Me Shelter, top tier classic. Always reminds me of Rock Band. This was in Rock Band. He used to play the drums, plastic drums. There's so much going on in this song. I love it. The background female vocals. Love in Vain has a Bob Dylan feel to it. It's a great track.
Originally a Robert Johnson tune.
That's it.
Country Honk, I love this one. I think this version fits the song better. It's got that old-timey country feel to it. The lyrics are fantastic. Love the I Can't Seem to Drink You Off My Mind line. It's those honky tonk women. Shout out Honky Tonk, our Patreon supporter. Live With Me, Keith's bass opening is fire. Damn good rocker with some badass piano. Let It Bleed, mixed vocals on this one. It works out. It works some of the time, but other times doesn't for me. It's so sloppy and lazy in parts, but it's intentional. So I don't know. This is a weird one. The lyrics are dirty as hell. Codependency's a bitch. Midnight Rambler had some interesting tempo changes. Another dark one lyrically. Love the harmonica. They just go off on this one. Then it almost comes to a crawl with Mick whispering and then the music coming in loud for one note. Super interesting song, especially for 1969. You got the Silver. Keith sounds a lot like Dylan here on vocals. This is a much better song than his Tell Me Straight on Hackney. Monkey Man, I love Monkey Man. Just has a wavy feel throughout. It's cruising the melody. I just added that. A slow build, then the wave crashes, only to reset to soft again. Great jam. Can't always get what you want. Top tier. My parents sang it to me when I was a kid. I sang it to my kids.
I say it to myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, this record is amazing. There's not really a bad song on it. It edged out over the last one because it pulled the same number in my point system, and it only has 3 less tracks, so that's why I put it where I put it.
So it's 3 less tracks better.
And it still had the same points as
Yeah.
Beggars. Pretty fire record.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else got anything to say? Add to that one?
Nah, man.
Nope.
I think that one's pretty self-explanatory. It's just badass. You should check it out if you've never listened to it, for sure.
Scroll over here in these.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's my number 7 as well.
Tim, don't you make me scroll back to the left.
I've got a little higher than you guys, so
Okay,
it's in my top 5.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
Cool.
okay.
Cool.
All right.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, we are very close to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're getting there.
Yeah, my top 5 is going to be disappointing to Rolling Stones fans, I think, but it'll be what it is.
There are no wrong answers here.
Yeah, I don't know. There might be.
Well, I mean, there might be, but there are no wrong answers. I think one of the beauties of this band that really is exemplified, especially in this period that we're talking about now.
Yeah.
Throw all of this on a shuffle, and you don't care what song the album's from. It all sounds like the same band, just like hitting you with hit after hit after hit, to the point where even like some of the lesser songs or songs I don't like end up getting stuck in my head, and now I can't get them out of my head. And
Yeah.
No, I love this band. There's so much good stuff. And
a lot of these, like if you took Sticky Fingers and you re-recorded it in 2023, like there would be no difference from Hackney as far as
sure, yeah,
like the
Yeah, I
production
guess
is
so.
the only thing that has really changed through the years. Not saying
yeah.
they don't sound the same, but
But
that
they
level
have a
of
sound at
quality.
this point in the discography that is completely recognizable and carried throughout. That even when going back and listening, like say 12 by 5 or something, like you're gonna hear it there too. And yeah,
Mhm.
it's a different decade, and they're a little greener around the ears. But man, what a solid band that just keeps churning it out.
Up next is Sticky Fingers with the zipper.
Yeah.
The belt's missing on this one. I guess my dad was really wanting to get in there and see. I don't know.
It happens.
I
Go
can't talk
Dad.
about this one though.
I can't either.
Yeah, let's just keep going.
All right, cool.
Fingers because I moved it over here. Get rid of that. All right. Exile.
I thought this was too much. I think like the first quarter and the bottom quarter are awesome, but the middle is just kind of but that's me. I was kind of getting burnt out by the time I got to this one too. But yeah, it's not in my top 5.
It's not in my top 5. I can talk about it.
I can talk about it as well.
All right. That was my notes. So y'all go ahead.
You're not wrong. There's a lot here. Now, a lot of it are classics. Like Rocks Off is great. Rip This Joint is top tier. Tumbling Dice is top tier. Loving Cup is top tier. Torn and Frayed is great.
Torn and Frayed is good, yeah.
Happy, I think, is my favorite Keith song in the discography. Happy is fantastic. Stop Break It Down, another Robert Johnson song. Shine a Light is top tier. Soul Survivor is great. There is a whole bonus disc of extra songs from the sessions. Super interesting background story behind this album, where they recorded in the south of France, living as tax exiles, deep in their various addictions. It's a pretty interesting backstory, and I think that it's an album that the more you listen to, I think the more it gives you. Like there's more to find with repeated listens.
That's fair.
But like to a casual, like, hey, this is my first time listening to the Rolling Stones or whatever, you're gonna find some top tier stuff, but you're also gonna find some stuff that is a little tough to get through, I think.
That's fair. Yeah, it's long.
All right. Yeah, one of my top songs comes from this one. Rocks Off. I swear, I guess I better go back to this. Um, the vocal delivery sounds just like Jay Mascis from Dinosaur Jr. So that was an instant win for me.
Yeah.
Rip This Joint for the Stones. This one is fast. Love it. Even the sax solo is fast. The piano is rocking. Good stuff. Shake Your Hips, the production is weird on this one. Makes sound so far away. It's an okay song though. Casino Boogie, I did not like the backing vocals. I think it's Keith. I don't know. The solo at the end is great, but other than that, nothing too special. I do like how the lyrics came out. Just Mick wrote a bunch of lyrics on random pieces of paper, and the band pulled them out and like kind of put the song together that way. Tumbling Dice, top tier instant classic. Sweet Virginia, bluesy drugs are fun song. It's decent. You got to scrape that shit right off your shoes. Torn and Frayed was okay. Nothing really stood out for me. Sweet Black Angel, this song, holy crap, the lyrics. Angela Davis, Cointel Pro kids, look it up. Not to rag on some modern day political bands, but this is how you do a political song. Much deeper than the American dream is killing me.
Turd on the run.
Loving Cup, nothing too special until Charlie comes in on the drums and the piano picks up. Happy, the best Keith sung song I've heard yet. It's a simple tune, but it works. The fact that
Yep.
he wrote this and recorded it in 4 hours is insane. Turd on the Run, I love the song name. It's a fun little ditty.
A lot of this album started out as improvs and just roll the tape and let's see what happens.
Yep. Ventilator, groovy, bluesy, dark. It was a great one. Face, didn't like this one. It was like a throwaway track, but the production was off. Something was weird. Let It Loose, soulful gospel song. Sweet Sounds of Heaven kind of reminds me of this one, only better. All Down the Line, it's a decent song. Great guitar solo. Again, off production wise. Cover song. Shine a Light, Brian Jones. It's a sad, sweet song, but it's got a great instrumentation breakdown after about 2 minutes in. And Soul Survivor, I think Shine a Light would have been a better closer. This one kind of feels like a filler song. It's a fantastic record with some top tier tracks like Rip This Joint, Dice, Black Angel, Shine a Light. But there's a lot of mediocre on here too, which dropped it in the rankings for me. Still a must listen though. It is still, you got to hear Exile.
Yeah, and Spotify now, anytime I finish something, it will immediately start playing "Rip This Joint." Like that's
I wish mine did. Mine goes to damn CCR still.
really. I'm so sorry.
And the Animals. It plays a lot of the Animals too.
Well, that's pretty good though. That's pretty sweet.
All right, Tim, where did you place Exile?
I placed it at number 6.
Well,
Cole Quit, where did you place it?
I placed it at 13. I mean, there's standouts on it, but like for real, if it were just a single album with the pick songs I chose, it would be way higher than 13 for sure. I feel like if you like this band, you will love this very much because it's just even more of this band. You know what I mean? It's fine.
It's my number 10. Let me slide us down here. Slide us down here. Scroll over. All right. Goat's Head Soup. I can't talk about this one.
Wow.
I mean, I can talk about it, but it is a great album. It's pretty high on my list. Yeah, I think. It starts off great. Dancing with Mr. D is great. Heartbreaker is a highlight for me. It's one of my absolute favorite songs. Angie is it's the hit. It's also really good. Hide Your Love is great. It's a great album. It's a great album. It sounds great. They've really kind of settled into the songwriting duo of Jagger Richards has really settled into what they do best at this point.
Okay. I didn't like this record very much. I didn't dislike it, but like outside of Dancing with Mr. D, which and Angie, I can't really say it. I guess I need to listen to it more, maybe. But like one full listen and one kind of scan, it didn't do anything for me. Just not my favorite. Well, I'll be the bummer, and I'll put it at I've got it at 15. I can just feel like
And
you
it's
got to
my
be a
number
fan.
7.
Yeah, you got to be a fan to like it, I think.
Okay, yeah, no, it's a little deeper, but it's there's a lot of really good stuff here.
Jason will sing its graces later, I suppose.
Yeah, we'll let them.
Yeah. All right. It's only rock and roll. But I like it.
I can talk about it.
I can talk about it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, If You Can't Rock Me is a great opener. But then immediately they kind of bring it down with that Ain't Too Proud to Beg cover, which is kind of unnecessary. But then It's Only Rock and Roll is top tier. Titan Waits for No One is great. And then when you get down onto this B side, which is just this strange little trip, Dance Little Sister is one of my favorite songs. And then Short and Curly's is great. Fingerprint File is great. It's a really good album. It's you can tell that, especially with the cover, they're kind of I don't know, like overall I think that it's a really solid album, but they've definitely done better. And yeah, some great high points on here, but eventually it just kind of falls kind of in the middle for me. It's kind of one of those albums. It's like, okay, like if it's on, I'm not going to change it, but it's not necessarily going to be the one I reach for if I want to listen to the Rolling Stones.
Yeah. I would say I agree with you in most of it, but It's Only Rock and Roll, but I like it is it's one of those songs that just makes me want to punch something, but not in a positive way. Like, it's like, yeah, I get you're dismissing this entire art form with this song, guys. It's okay. You've sold all your records. It's fine. Fuck you. But beyond that, it's just very middle of the road. I thought Short and Curly's was just kind of like an Adam Sandler song. Like, I don't know why it exists or why they put it on an album. Like, it could have been a good B-side. But yeah, and like Ain't Too Proud to Bag again is like,
Yeah.
I thought Time Waits for No One was pretty good. And I liked Fingerprint File a lot, but most of it I'm just like, whatever.
All right. If You Can't Rock Me, Somebody Will. Decent opener. Ain't Too Proud to Beg, a cover song this late in the discog. Still pretty good, just weird they went with a cover. Whole solo is fire as always. It's Only Rock and Roll. You got Bowie singing backup. What else do you need? It's a classic. Um, Till the Next Goodbye, great ballad. I almost like it more than Angie. The chorus is just. Time Waits for No One. This one reminded me of a Tom Petty Wildflowers era groove. It was okay. Luxury, loved Luxury. I'm a sucker for working class songs. They nail it with this one. Dance Little Sister's great. If You Really Want to Be My Friend, another ballad. Short and Curly is a fun swinging sounding song. Fingerprint File. It's funky as all hell. The guitars, the wall pedals. Mick barely sounds like himself. Really shows his vocal talents. I think I read that this was the first one they self-produced. I don't know if that's right or not, but again, not really a bad song on this one. But I think the later half is just as strong, if not stronger, than the A side. It's almost like they were trying to showcase the past, present, and future of rock and roll. You got the older covers stuff, you got the modern day Stones, and then you got some funky Sly sounding song towards the end there, where it's like the future of rock at the time. I don't know, it's just a thought I had, but it's not as good as what they did previously.
I mean, it's only rock and roll, right?
And I mean, I like it. It is my number 9.
I've got it at 14. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Where you got it, Tim?
I've got it at 15.
Oh, wow. All right, cool. I don't feel too bad now.
Yeah.
It's still green for you, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. I could argue all of them are green.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but I won't. But yeah, no, it's definitely got to listen to this one for sure. It's especially here in the middle, they're all kind of interchangeable. Where if like it's hard to pick just one to like represent it all.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, then you got to listen to them all and make up your own mind.
Yeah.
And their career's so long, and they've definitely had eras where they have a specific vibe to their sounds. So yeah,
Sure,
for sure.
Yep.
Speaking of,
Black is blue. I guess I'll be the
well, my note's real short. I don't remember anything about this record.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I got.
All right. So I got Hot Stuff already starting out a little funky. Charlie on Fire here. I hate disco, but the disco drum beats are always fun. Hashtag kill the DJ is great. Don't at me. Hand of Fate. It's more classic Stones. I love the drum fills in between turnaround. Cherry O Baby, Rolling Stones, X Reggae. I can dig it. I like this cover. Memory Motel, another ballad. The Stones have written some of the best ballads out of any band, and this one is top tier. I love that she took my guitar and she began to play. She sang a song to me, stuck right in my brain. Hey, I like the guitar riff, but it was a little repetitive. This one could have been a minute shorter, I think. Melody was okay. The piano carries that one. Fool to Cry, did not like this one, kind of dragged on. Crazy Mama, probably my favorite on the record. Just give me some bluesy rock and roll Stones. It's always the best. That's my notes. This was a short one.
Yeah. This is a perfect example of what I was talking about, though, where I could argue it's green, but this one is definitely going to follow in my yellow. It's one of those albums that, yeah, anytime you put it on, it's passable, it's fine, works great in a shuffle, but they are kind of forgettable songs.
It's a weird album. Like if you were to rank just the 70 Stones, this is a weird one for the 70s.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. You can tell they're probably a little lost at this point.
Well, they're dabbling in disco a little bit, but I feel like they actually have some really good disco songs on later records, and this one's just, I don't know, like I don't remember anything about it. I remember Memory Motel a little bit, but that's it. Like that's it's just not happened.
Hot Stuff's kind of fun. It's like a decent opener, but they've definitely got better openers.
And Crazy Mama was great, but like they've got better closers.
Yeah. It's a fine album, but it's
a fine album.
I don't think it's
background music kind of album.
Yeah, it's not necessary, I don't think.
It's my number 16.
Where did I put it? It's my number 17. I'm not far off with you.
And I'm at 21 on this one.
I mean, they look as bored on the album cover as I felt listening to it, you know?
We'll get to that, but he's just like, get the fuck out of my ear, man.
He's like, maybe if you wrote some better songs, I wouldn't have to be in your fucking ear, would I?
Quit playing that disco shit, mate.
Quit playing that disco shit in it. It's yeah, you got to put in it in there somewhere, you know.
All right. Up next is Some Girls.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I can't talk about that one.
I can't talk about that one.
I can't talk about this one or the next one.
Oh, wow. Really? Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can talk about Emotional Rescue a little bit. I mean, it's in my yellow.
Yeah, I can talk about this one, all right. All right. Dance Part 1. It's not bad, but it's not what I want from the Stones. Summer Romance, I really did like that one. It had a get up and go feel to it. Send It To Me, got that reggae feel. The Stones pull that shit off really well. Let Me Go is okay. It did get a little long with the Let Me Go repeating one or two too many times. The riffs are great though. Indian Girl, some harsh lyrics on this one. I love the music though. The horns are the only thing that just kind of stand out and don't fit in. Where the Boys Go, this was a fun one. I could see this playing on the jukebox at the local watering hole. Down the Hole, some straight up blues on this one. Really like this one. Emotional Rescue, nope, not a fan of Jagger. Falsetto, sounds like Beck on Midnight Vultures, but it works for Beck. Maybe the first Stone song in this discography that I hate. Uh, She's So Cold has an odd vocal melody that I hated at first, but as the song went on, it got better and better. That's a weird one. And All About You, didn't care for the closer either. Nothing really special. This is the first album with a song I hated. There are a few hidden gems on it, like Indian Girl, Down the Hole, Summer Romance, and Send It To Me. But it took a huge dip for me from Some Girls. Those last three tracks did nothing for me.
Okay. Okay.
I guess it goes without saying that it's completely fitting that Emotional Rescue is my favorite song off of this record. And Summer Romance didn't do it for me, but I like Dance Part 1. It's kind of a fun disco, just weirdness. And then She's So Cold is dope. I really did enjoy that one a lot. And yeah, other than that, it's kind of a scattershot record. Like it's just goes different places at different times, and I don't know. It didn't do it for me as much.
All right, it is my number 14.
14. It's my 16. I'm not too far off from you. Well, that's Tim's. Mine's 16. He's obviously cares about this record a good deal more than we do. I'm into it. Oh, and this record.
I might as well just sneeze on over here a little bit. All right, Tattoo You.
Um, I
You
don't
got it,
know if
Tim.
I've ever heard that first song before.
I don't know, it kind of sounded familiar.
It sounds a little familiar. Oh, that's right. Spinal Tap covered it.
Didn't Bill Gates write it?
I think so. Yes. Yes, he did.
Actually, some programmers wrote it, and then he stole it from them and claimed it as his own. That's how it happened.
I mean, I think it's a really good album. It's I can see where at the time it came out, people thought it was kind of a return to form for them. And I think that in many ways that's true. But I also think they've returned to that form in much better ways, even since. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, like I think Start Me Up starts it great, and I think Waiting on a Friend closes it great. Little TNA is pretty cool. Black Limousine's pretty cool. But the rest of it's just kind of there. It's more Stones. Like there's nothing bad, but there's nothing that's jumping out that's like, oh man, that's top tier. For me at least.
Fair. I think Start Me Up is great. And I think on a Friend is great. I think everything in the middle is not. Like Little TNA actually made me uncomfortable a little bit, and I'm a grown man. It shouldn't make me uncomfortable, but it did. But yeah, that's all I got. Heaven was kind of boring. Neighbors was okay. And Slave was okay, but Hang Fire kind of bothered me a little bit, and Worried About You was just kind of, it was just a lot of meh when I was listening to it. And I was like, and to have that artwork and be so meh, It's just quite a juxtaposition, honestly.
There's a couple Stones albums like that.
There are.
Start Me Up, badass opener, top tier Stones. Hang Fire, I love the lyrics, but the music is just too much 80s cheese for me. Slave, not a fan of the falsetto singing from Mick. The Billy Preston piano is the only good thing about this one. It's also way too long at 6.5 minutes. Little TNA, this is what the album needed. Straight rock song. Keith tears it up on this song. The lyrics were like secondary in that one. Black Limousine, straight blues. This is what Mick's voice does best. Got that harmonica, a hidden gem on this album. Neighbors was an interesting one. I didn't hate it. There were some interesting changes, but the guitar solo was on point, and I liked the sax in it. Fuck the Neighbors. It did have a little 80s cheese on it, but in this case, it worked for me. Worried About You. He must have lived by some bad people because he sings about his neighbors a lot.
New York in the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, what a good place.
Worried About You. As soon as I heard the first note from Mick, I noped out of this one. Tops. It was better than Worried About You, but still not great. Heaven, that opening riff sounded like Beast of Burden to me. That was the only good thing about this song. No use in crying, very repetitive. The only thing I liked was the drums. Waiting on a Friend, I did like the closer though. It wasn't anything that special, just much better than 90% of this record. How about that sax solo? This one was still a proceed with caution for me. It had Start Me Up, Little TNA, Black Limo, but that's about it. The rest is 80s badness. That's what I got.
Yeah, same. I feel the same, my man.
Oh, I didn't carry it over, did I? Where'd you put it, Colquitt?
21. I thought it was just not good. And like, especially considering how like I thought it was like, all right, it's the first 80s record. It's gonna be just weird. And it wasn't. Like it's so by the books, kind of not good to me. I don't know. And like the later records, when they get really weird in the 80s, they're weird enough to keep me interested. Like this one just kind of just sat there, the whole time, just sat there.
It's my 17.
Where you got Tim? Where you got it, buddy?
Well, I've got an issue where I've got two number 13s. So we're going to put it at number 13 and then maybe call a mulligan at some point.
That's fair.
Oh, I did carry it over.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Let's call it right now. Let's just move that down 1 to 14.
Interesting. I want to do a little quick check here real quick.
All right.
Tim and I still got a 26. Colquitt's got a 23 still ready to go. All right. Interesting. All right. Up next, we got Undercover. Tim, why don't you take us on this one? I gotta let my dog out. He can't handle it.
Sure. So yeah, let's talk about the 80s. This is 1983. I mean, it's an odd album. It's a lot of it's very 80s. Sometimes the production works, sometimes it really detracts. Like Undercover, the night's weird, but catchy. She Was Hot, the same. Tie You Up, the same. Too Much Blood, the same. Like it's all just it's very 80s, and there's a lot of it feels very herky jerky to me. I can see where it's an interesting album. I will give it that. It's but yeah, there's just nothing here that I go, oh yeah, put that on.
I feel like Too Much Blood is something everyone should listen to just to know that the Rolling Stones made that song. Like,
and for that reason, I'm all for it.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Too Tough was like the most Rolling Stones song on this record, I think, almost. And it was itself also very 80s. Like,
you know what else was an interesting record? Green Day's Father of All Motherfuckers was an interesting record.
Yeah, no, I know. And again, that record has definitely gone up in my rankings. If we ever do Green Day again, we're going to be shocked that it's not in last place, I think, for me at least. But I thought Undercover of the Night was a lot of fun. I probably heard this when I was 1 year old when it came out. It sounds like everything from my early childhood and on the radio to me in a way, except done by the Rolling Stones. So I didn't hate it. I didn't enjoy it, but I didn't hate it either, you know?
All right.
Yeah.
How about you?
That's Undercover. A good review.
That's a positive review.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's not a negative. It's just
Under the Cover of Night. My notes just say, what the fuck?
Nice.
She was hot. I mean, I guess it was okay. That's my notes there. Tie you up. You dream of it passionate. You get a rise from it. Feel the hot cum dripping on your thighs from it. Yeah, I'll pass on this one. Want to Hold You didn't really sound like the Stones, but it was okay. Had a good melody. Feel On Baby, this sounds like a Rejected Police song. Sting would have threw this one in the trash. Too Much Blood, we got a disco beat, horns. Is he doing a Blondie-style rap about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, question mark?
Yes, he is.
Mix sounds good, I suppose. Pretty beat up, kind of meanders for a while, has a decent guitar solo, but not enough to save it. Too Tough. So far, this is the best song on the record. It got that 70s energy. The 80s influence is kept at a minimum. This one was decent. All the Way Down, this one reminded me of George Harrison's output in the 80s. I kind of liked it. It also reminded me of Shattered from Some Girls. It Must Be Hell, that main riff I've heard before. I placed it right at the end. It's Michael Jackson's Black or White.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. That is my only other note for this, is that It Must Be Hell is literally the song that Michael Jackson ripped off for Doesn't Matter If You
I was like, nah, 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 nah. I was like, what is that?
It's the same fucking song. It's hilarious.
My overall notes say, gotta side with Keith on this one. Screw the trends. Do what the Stones do best. Just rock and roll blues. No disco. No current day trends. Just keep it real. So not as positive as Colquitt's review, but
mine wasn't that positive. I wanted to like it just to be contrarian, but
it's my number 19.
It's my 20. It's my number 20.
I've got it at 26.
Oh wow!
Wow, we filled in that last one, huh?
We've hit it. We still haven't hit Jason's 26.
Nope.
Not yet, but I can only imagine.
I think it's maybe the next one.
Probably the next one. I don't know.
I mean, it could always be Steel Wheels.
That's
could be Steel Wheels.
Yeah.
Dirty Work is probably a good place to call it on this one, huh?
We could.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah. Let's finish this one. Yeah, it's that same record, except dude, Mick's vocals on this sound pissed off, which I do appreciate, and it's the only thing that puts it above the last record, in my opinion, is his vocal performance is fire on most of this record. He's just like, like top of his fucking lungs, just going at it, which I appreciate. But other than that, Harlem Shuffle, really, dude, come on, man. Like, this is not good. Like, I know you wanted to be in the Ghostbusters soundtrack, but that's not the way to do it. But yeah, other than that, I mean, dude, like, Winning Ugly's all right, I guess. One Hit to the Body is okay. It's a good opener. Fight's all right too. But everything else, what do you guys have to say about it? Because that's all I got.
I'm about to shock y'all.
Uh-oh. It's in your top 5? You can't talk about it?
Oh, no, it ain't that high. But it's a little up there.
Yeah, man.
One Hit, decent opener, a good rocker. Still a little 80s sounding, but good 80s. Fight continued this, another decent one. Harlem Shuffle, I didn't mind the cover here. It's not mind blowing, but I didn't actively hate it like most of Undercover. Hold Back, the lyrics were kind of meh, but the music was damn good. So far, this is the best album of the decade. Too Rude, we've got another reggae song. This was pretty good. Winning Ugly, this one sounded like the 80s era Billy. This one sounded like an 80s era Billy Joel song. Did
Yeah.
not like the chorus with the winning in the background. Back to Zero, if the album cover was a song, it would be Back to Zero.
But they look so comfortable.
Dirty Work, I like the title track. Living high, sit in the sun, sit on your ass till your work is done. You lazy mother, your hands are clean. The vocal melody was tight. Charlie keeps the song moving it along at a decent pace. Hard It with you.
Yeah.
Had it with you.
Had it with you, I think. But let's go hard it.
Hard It with you sounds better.
Yeah.
This is what the blues sounded like. If this is what the blues sounded like in the '80s? Question mark. Still pretty decent compared to the last few albums.
You just need Stevie Ray Vaughan playing a solo on it, and you've got it. You know.
Yeah. Sleep Tonight. This one took the spot as the best Keith song so far. This is a hidden gem ballad. Loved it. Keith's vocals sounded really great here. Key to the Highway was fine, short piano instrumental. This one surprised me. After the last two albums, I was dreading the rest of the '80s, and this album cover screams '80s. But it was a decent Stones record. Like, I like this one.
Yeah, it's rocking in comparison to the other two for sure.
Yeah, I really like One Hit to the Body, and I like the title track. But I do believe the highlight of this album is the Harlem Shuffle.
Yeah.
We got the 12-inch single there. Yeah, that is just a groovy song that you could just kind of like put on a repeat and get lost in and have a really good time. I like the Harlem Shuffle a lot. Top tier.
Oh, okay. All right, so I need to grab this one over here, this brightly colored. It was my number 12.
Wow. That is much higher than I thought.
I was shocked.
Over Aftermath. Like, wow. That's brave, friend. I
The point
appreciate
system. The point system, man.
it never lies, you know. It'll find your truth, much like a magic 8-ball or a Ouija board or a tarot deck.
Where'd you have it, Tim?
All important scientific tools.
Yes, very much. Yes.
I have it at 22.
I guess
And I've got it at 19. It's the best of the 80s records to me, but that ain't saying much.
That's not saying much, no. All right. So I guess we will end part 1 here before we get into the 90s. We got one more 80s record to go, then we'll get to the 90s, and well, I don't know. There's not much left to go.
Yeah, then we're pretty much in the modern age.
Yeah, I forgot it. No, actually, dude, I'm sorry. I have to swap real quick before we go to commercial break.
Mulligan?
Gotta call a mulligan.
Not really mulligan. It's just a slip of the. I have a double number. It's actually 18, not 19. Sorry. There we go.
Right. I say, yeah, let's just cut to a commercial and run the whole thing in one video. Oh, we still got our top 5 to go too, though.
I mean, yeah, we'll see what happens.
We got to cut to a commercial anyway. Who's our sponsor now? We can't use the same video twice. Any ideas? First thing comes to your mind.
Ghostbusters movie.
Got it.
Part 1. Yeah.
Stick around. Watch the trailer for Ghostbusters. We'll see you.
Not as it's I Bobby Brown's pretty awesome. I'm just gonna say.
We're going for 2 for 2 copyright strikes here. Let's go.
Coming to save the world this summer.
Bustin' makes me feel good.
All right, we are down to the last 80s album, Steel Wheels. Oh.
Yeah.
So
like
being a child of the 80s, this is probably where I became cognizant of the Rolling Stones as a band. I remember this being released. I remember the family owning it on cassette tape and driving around with it. Yeah, so yeah, it's one of those albums where it's like, okay, there's a little bit of nostalgia going on here, and I think there's some really good stuff on here as well. Like, let me see what my notes say. Got to turn the page. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I think Mixed Emotions and Rockin' a Hard Place, like both of the singles, I think are really good. And let's see, there was one other one. Yeah, Hold On to Your Hat's cool. Sad, Sad, Sad's cool. I think Break the Spell's pretty cool. I think it's a pretty decent album. I think it, especially for the '80s, I think it's probably the best of the '80s. But as a Stones album, it's still. I mean, it's still like you got to listen to it, but they definitely have better stuff in better decades.
Yeah,
including this one.
Yeah, I didn't know Mixed Emotion and Rockin' a Hard Place were singles.
Those were the singles, yeah.
Because those were my two favorite songs off the record, so that tracks.
Yeah, like videos on MTV and everything. Yeah,
it's weird because I remember the album because it was being promoted on MTV, but I don't remember seeing any of the videos for those.
That's where I'm at too. I remember the album cover, but I don't remember.
Yeah, same. I remember talking about it on like Top 40 Radio or whatever. I don't remember. But,
okay.
But Continental Drift is the weirdest song I think I've ever heard by this band, and that's weird considering the records that came previously from this decade. Like, it's a strange song. And I don't know if I like it, but I respect it and appreciate it, especially in considering that the rest of this record just sounds like the band trying to sound like the Rolling Stones, even though the other records of this decade did not sound like the Rolling Stones in a way to me. I don't know. It sounded very middle of the road and rudimentary. We're trying to rebuild our brand kind of album. Didn't work for me too much.
In 1989, I was still listening to this Stones. Like my dad he got stuck on the 70s.
I was listening to It No More, The Real Thing in 1989.
Well,
I was listening to Paula Abdul's Forever Your Girl.
I was also listening to that. That was my first concert, by the way, guys.
Oh, nice.
My first concert.
Nice.
I love that record.
We better show her some love when we do the decades.
Oh, I will. It's not going to be on my list, but I will show love for sure.
So this one, sad, sad, sad. A little poppy for the Stones, but not bad. Mixed Emotions, 80s production, but the song itself is a decent rocker. I like the You're Not the Only One with Mixed Emotions vocal delivery. Terrifying, the bass and guitar in this song is fire. Sounds like it could be playing in the background of a Miami Vice episode. Hold On to Your Hat. Holy shit, where did this song come from? Top tier, this one. It's fast. Keith is shredding. Mick is growling almost. Shit was good. Hearts for Sale. Well, that was short-lived. We were back to weird 80s Stones on this one. Rick Springfield could have wrote it. Blinded by Love, 80s country, ? Rockin' a Hard Place. This one was
Stones
okay.
Country.
Stones Country.
Stones Country.
Yeah.
Stones Country.
Rockin' a Hard Place. It was okay. Better than the last two songs, but doesn't come close to top tier Stones. Can't Be Seen. Oh boy, I hated this one. How did Keith go from Sleep Tonight to this one? Am I listening to Rod Stewart here? What the fuck?
Hey.
Rod Stewart was pretty big in 89.
Yeah.
Don't hate Rod Stewart.
Screw Rod Stewart.
Get in line.
Yeah, no joke. He should have been Bond.
Yeah. My dad called him Rod the Cod.
Yeah, there's a reason.
Almost Hear You Sigh. The guitar riff reminded me of Beast of Burden again. Guitar tone is the only thing that sounds like the Rolling Stones here. I guess the sexy lyrics as well, but the song got worse and worse as it went on. Continental Drift, Nosedive, Break the Spell, Nosedive. Slipping Away, better than Can't Be Seen, but still pretty damn bad. I do like it when Mick comes in on the vocals. That was nice. But this album takes a hard nosedive for me after Rockin' a Hard Place. Or sorry, after Hold On to Your Heart.
Or your hat.
Yeah, pretty much. I read this
Hold
was
on to your cod.
Yeah. I read this was the comeback album. I disagree. Maybe Mick and Keith worked through their issues, but they were not firing on all cylinders on this one. There's some badass songs on here. Debating putting. Oh, I can't say that. But there's still some clunkers like Hearts for Sale, Blinded, and Can't Be Seen. Almost Hear You Sigh, etc., etc.
And I think they call this the comeback record because of the sales.
Yeah.
Well, I think they probably promoted it because like Mick and Keith were fighting. And
Yeah, Dirty Work and Undercover, lot and Black and Blue, lot of inner turmoil.
Yeah.
Plus, I think I read at some point in there, Charlie had a really bad heroin addiction going on. So that was putting a big strain on the band during those years. Because, rest in peace, Charlie Watts. Never forget. But yeah, from everything I've heard, he was kind of like the informal band leader. And if Charlie didn't like it, it didn't fly.
Is this the one that was co-written by Bob Clearmountain? Or was that an earlier one?
I'm not sure. I know.
Well, like on Spotify, and this is the only reason why I noticed it. Like I was, he's credited as a songwriter for, it says Rolling Stones and Bob Clearwater, and I was like, who the hell is Bob Clearmountain? Clearmountain.
For which song?
Let me y'all go. I'll figure it out. I'm googling, man. I'm sorry.
I'm on Steel Wheels right now, and I don't see the only thing that was co-written by anybody was Almost Hear You Sigh was written by co-written by Steve Jordan, who is the current Rolling Stones drummer.
Oh, it was Tattoo You.
Oh, okay, okay.
Basically the last half of the record is written by Rolling Stones and Bob Clearmountain. Hang Fire, Neighbors, Worried About You, and Distracted. I apologize.
Well, this one was my number 18. I liked Dirty Work better than this one.
Word. It's my. What was it? It's my 19, I believe. I think. Yeah, it's my 19. Because it was also listed as 18 along with Dirty Work, which I think is better.
Yeah, there you go. I like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where my number system went wrong as well. I have it right now at number 12, and I do think it's better than Tattoo You, so I'm okay with that. Something's going to go funky in here, though.
Yeah, if we got to move them around, we'll move them around.
Yeah.
Move it into Tim's bracket instead of mine.
Yeah, that might help, because I'm wondering, like, wait a minute. How come I got so many spaces?
Well, you said 12. I saw like that's the only one that doesn't have something. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's true.
See, we'll move them around. We don't care. All right. Voodoo Lounge. I can't talk about it.
I can't talk about it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I probably shouldn't talk about it because every song rips.
Yeah.
But it's one of those where they've got a lot of really good albums. So just in the numbering system, it's here in the weirdo spot. So can I go back to the big list here?
This one?
Yes.
No, our picks. I need to see my picks. I need to see what spaces are empty here.
Got an 18.
Is it a green or a yellow?
Oh, it's definitely a green.
Okay.
So that's the top 5. Okay, so yeah, what we're gonna do is we're gonna move Steel Wheels down one.
Down is 11 or down is in 13?
Down is in 13.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then we're gonna put Voodoo Lounge at number 11.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, every song just rips on this song. Or on this album. Like Love Strong was great intro single. And then You Got Me Rockin' is great. Sparks Will Fly is great. The Worst is aptly titled. It's a Keith song. And it's like really the one low point on the album, I think. But then it picks right back up where New Faces is kind of like a baroque ballad that like is pretty cool. And then Moon Is Up is just got a great groove. Out of Tears is another ballad, but it's great. I Go Wild is great. Brand New Car is super funky. So that's a cool song. Sweet Arts Together is great. Suck on the Jugular, I think, is like kind of like top tier Stones. It's kind of a hidden gem on here. Blinded by Rainbows, great. And then the rest of the album, my only real problem with this album is it does get a little long-winded.
It is long.
Yeah,
but it's super strong.
They definitely started filling up every ounce of a CD they could fill up at this
Which was definitely the thing to do in the 90s. So so I'll forgive them, especially if the quality is this good. Like, this is a really solid album that I enjoy thoroughly.
Yeah, and also, let's be honest, like 30 years into their career by this point, they're allowed to do whatever the fuck they want, you know? Let them fill up the record.
Yeah, there's no reason for them to continue to put out great stuff. And yet, here we are in 2023 saying the exact same thing, right? It's nothing new. They've been doing it since the 90s, since Steel Wheels, really. Like, Steel Wheels, I think, is the beginning of the modern era, even though it's 35 years ago now. But really, like, from that point on, the Stones just like, nope, this is what we do. And we're going to do it whenever we want. And we're going to do it at a level that you've come to expect is excellent.
See, that's where I think, not Steel Wheels, but I think Voodoo Lounge is where that is for me.
Okay.
And the only other thing I'm going to say, just in context, I'm going to read one of my notes now. But The Worst, it's got a sitting on a rocking chair in front of Cracker Barrel vibe.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say about that.
The only note I'll add, since we'll talk about it again later, is that this is the first record that sounds like it's using modern recording. Like the bass is booming on this record. Everything sounds so good.
Charlie,
like,
and I think this is the first one where after Bill Wyman left. Bill Wyman leaves after Steel Wheels. So at this point, they've got studio musicians going.
I think Michelle and Dege Ocello plays on this record, I think.
I believe she does.
At least on one of the songs.
No, she doesn't play on the album, but I know she did like some live shows with them.
She's
Bobby Womack is on here, as is Bentmont Tank, Ivan Neville, Chuck Leavell. They've got some dudes. Daryl Jones is credited with playing the bass on the album, though.
Okay.
And he's still their bass player to this day. So
it's dope. And we got Bridges to Babylon.
I can talk about it.
I can too.
Same.
Yeah. Like, this is the first record I remember seeing at the record store, because it came out in like, and like that was at my peak record store days, because I was 15. Like, it was just all I did was go to the mall on the weekend and go to the record store all the time. So I'd see it all the time.
Yeah, I remember the advertisements of this, but I remember Voodoo Lounge as well.
Well, I remember the videos for Voodoo
Yeah.
Lounge very prominently, but like this one, I don't remember any of these songs being singles to my knowledge. Like I don't, except for Anybody Seen My Baby. Mad
That was
props to Katie Lang for writing that song. It is basically Anybody's Seen My Constant Craving. Constant crave. It's like
well, and if
that's
I
a song.
remember correctly, she wasn't listed as a songwriter to begin with, but when the
No, the
album
producer,
came out, they went, "It's Constant Craving. We got to credit
yeah.
her."
Yeah, they were like, we don't know the song, but it's the same song, so we'll give her a
Yeah,
writing credit, which is pretty
yeah.
brave, nice of them.
I completely
God,
slept on this record. By 97, I was like too cool to listen to the Stones,
yeah.
So I had heard Voodoo Lounge when it came out, but this one I slept on. And this one blew me away in this discography. This was an amazing record. Flip the Switch was awesome. Anybody bass driven, low key, sexy sounding verses. I didn't really care for the verses though. Low Down sounds like classic Stones, which is what I want. Keith got some riffs in this one. Um, After all these albums, it dawned on me why the ballads are so good. Mixed vocal range really shines in them. He always does something different with pitches, delivery, accents, emotion. Already Over Me was a highlight. Gunface, man, this album is on fire. Gunface is top tier as well. If this one keeps up, it's going to be pretty high on my list. It's me talking to myself. Gunface is fantastic. You Don't Have to Mean It. First of three Keith sung songs is pretty damn good. It's upbeat, has some horns that aren't overpowering, just puts accents in like all the right places. Good stuff. Out of Control, really like the lyrics on this one, but the music was kind of minimum for a lot of it. Didn't really kick in until about a minute 20, and it does slow down again at the verses. Still, though, not a bad song. Saint of Me, I would say it's crazy how good Mick sounds in 97, but I've heard Hackney already, so and he sounds good on that one. Again, fun to sing. Might as well get Juiced, the first miss on the album for me. Did not like the production on it. It was the Dust Brothers.
Yeah,
The other two songs
awesome.
they did on this album were great, but this one just didn't really. This one sounded bad to me. Always Suffering was too long. Not much happens. It does eventually kick in a little, but it takes half the song to get there. Too Tight was top tier. Untie These Cheap Shanks, yes, and all these fancy knots. I'm not Houdini, honey. Come on now, loosen up. Thief in the Night, straight filler here. How Can I Stop? Another filler. Overall, I was shocked how good this record was. It lost some points due to the last two Keith songs, but if you took those and juiced off, this was the perfect Stones record. Like, I found some new favorite Stones songs on here, like Gunface, Too Tight, and Already Over Me. Overall, it's just a damn good rock record for 1997.
See, I'm gonna disagree and say that it's not as good as Voodoo Lounge or anything after it, and it doesn't sound like a good like Stones record to me. It just sounds. Granted, I'm not a Stones fan, so my opinion means nothing. But
Oh, I haven't talked
honestly,
about Voodoo Lounge yet.
that's true, but well, spoilers. We already admitted that it's in our top 5, both of us, so we know it's higher ranked than this one for both of us. Like I think Might As Well Get Juiced is really good, especially considering the other pop songs by major performers coming out in this era. Like, dude, it's a damn fine, and it's still kind of good. It still sounds pretty good. Like today, like Dust Brothers are dope. Like, good for them
Oh
on
yeah, the
picking.
other two songs they did on here were fucking great.
Yeah, like, and Gunface is dope. I really enjoyed that one, and I think I actually like Saint of Me pretty much a lot. And Too Tight is great, but otherwise it just kind of rolled over me, especially after hearing Voodoo Lounge like for the first time. Like that, I went directly from that to this, and after hearing Voodoo Lounge, I was like, this doesn't do anything better than that record, in my opinion. It just doesn't. It's
I
the sound quality is stellar. The songwriting just didn't do it for me on this one. That's all.
Yeah,
Really.
I grew up with Voodoo Lounge. Like I had that one. This
Yeah.
was like a
A revelation for you then. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
yep.
I think I think going back to the concept of the modern era Stones, this one actually works the least for me. You guys have already pointed out the high points for me on here was Gunface, Out of Control, Might As Well Get Juiced, and Too Tight. And looking at the track list, it's like it's every other song. So there's something going on to keep you interested. It's another long one though. It's over an hour, and it kind of loses me a little bit. The production on it does sound great, as is expected at this point. I mean, they've been sounding great at this point for 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I think it was a step down though from Voodoo Lounge, and I think they bounced back from it. But yeah, of the modern era, this is my least favorite.
It's not my least favorite of the modern era. But
That's fair. That's why we're all here.
That's right.
where'd you put it, Tim?
I've got it at number 8. 18.
Oh wow. Yeah, you went way further than me.
And
Because I
yeah,
put it at 23.
it looks like that's the line for me. Where, yeah, I mean, I it's not a bad album. I certainly like it. I like it a lot, but there are other ones you should listen to first.
I mean, I liked it more than Exile. So it's at number 12 for me. But I think that a lot of that has to do with also the production of it. Like, it sounds so good. Even if the songs don't hit, it does sounds good, you know?
It's my number 6.
Word.
Oh, okay.
I love that record. That was a damn good Stones record.
I'll have to listen to it again.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, and again, and again, and again.
I have come through this experience with the newfound appreciation. So I'm going to go back and listen to a lot of these records again for sure, just to find out if they grow on me or not.
I think you'll find they will.
They probably will. I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
I mean, it would grew on me as it was happening. It was insane. Because I'm not a blues guy at all, which I guess we'll get to later.
But they're not just a blues band either. I mean, they're really a solid group of dudes that know how to play their instruments.
Yeah,
they're almost a jam band.
Like where they came from and their time they came up in, like blues were more important to them than anything.
Yeah, else. Sure.
Especially Jesus Christ, his guitar playing, very blues influenced, no doubt.
Yeah.
So we got a bigger bang, huh?
Wait a minute. I gotta get rid of this yellow line here because that didn't make any sense. There we go. Bigger bang. This is where we're gonna divulge a little bit, I think.
Maybe.
You go ahead, Tim. You start us off on this one, or can you talk about this one?
Yeah, I can talk about it for sure. It's a solid modern album. Like technically, this was the last album of original material that's going to feature Charlie Watts.
Yeah.
It's not his last album that he recorded in full, nor is it the last album he's on. Mid 2000s. At this point, it had been 7 years since A Bridges to Babylon. And as a music fan in the 2000s, we all know at that point, anytime the Stones put out an album, it's a pretty big deal, as we're experiencing now even. I think Rough Justice is pretty cool. Let's see here. What else did I have on this one? It Won't Take Long is a really cool song. I thought Dangerous Beauty was good. I think Laugh I Nearly Died is probably the highlight for me on the album.
Yeah, that's like
one of those deep deep tracks that like you just don't see coming. It's like, oh, this song is amazing. And I feel the same way about Sweet Neocon. That's they're a little ahead of their time on that one, and yet it's also very timely for 2005. Look what the Cat Drag did is just just a ripper, that they do. It's a Stones album through and through. I think it's a step up from Bridges to Babylon, but I don't think it's as good as Hackney Diamonds.
Well, yeah.
So this is kind of when we get to the modern era that we're talking about now. This is kind of the baseline for me, where this is like right in the middle of the pack.
Now, I read that Charlie didn't write a lot of the drums. Mick wrote a lot of the drumming. Like, Charlie was out with cancer or something.
Yeah. And at this point, too, everybody can afford drum machines and little home studios, and they can demo stuff out. And I think we're going to find, even currently, that there's probably more stuff in the vault waiting to be released than we even have an idea of, because they have the means and the capabilities and the time to, just crank demos out.
Yeah.
Now, this is nowhere near a bad record. This was a great record. But as far as like, if you want to count from Steel Wheels on, well, it's better than Steel Wheels. But
yeah.
Rough Justice. And Once Upon a Time, I was your little rooster, but now I'm just one of your cocks.
Yeah, it's such a good lyric, man. That's so good.
Badass opening track.
Which, going back to Little Red Rooster, old school track,
Yep.
Yeah.
Let Me Down Slow. It was weird hearing Mix mention a cell phone, but here we are, Stones in the 2000s. This one was amazing as well. It Won't Take Long. This one wasn't bad, but it didn't stand out. It sounded good, though. Rainfall Down, getting a little bit of that 70s funk in this one. Streets of Love, not my favorite, but it wasn't bad. I liked the lyrics and the guitar solo. It was simple, slow, but effective. Back of My Hand, Oh Snap, got that harmonica going. Some old time blues, love it. Oh, that harmonica solo. She Saw Me Coming was repetitive, didn't do anything for me. Biggest Mistake, won't win any awards in this discography, but I wouldn't call it filler. It was good, just not special. This Place Is Empty. All right, now, Keith, slow your roll with your come on, bare your breast to make me feel like home. Dude was just missing his wife, I suppose.
No, it's about his mom. Come on.
I thought that was about his wife.
No,
it's
I don't
about
know.
It's about his sister Morphine.
Oh, okay. There you go. That's probably more accurate. No, I was just making a joke because, if you're talking about
cousin cocaine.
Yeah.
Or are you talking about his wife?
Very Oedipal.
Let us know in the comments below. What the hell was Keith talking about?
Who knows?
Anytime, anywhere.
He was just
we need to know.
He was just happy for the record label Advance to pay for those blood transfusions to keep him alive.
Hey, I'll pay my taxes for that.
Yeah. That's better than funding
Keep them coming.
War. This Place Is Empty. No, I already talked about that. Oh, No, Not You Again. All right, the album picked back up. There was a run of slower songs that was kind of dragging the album down for me, but this one picks it back up. Dangerous Beauty, the drumming is off on this album for me. Not sure why. That's when I looked it up and was like, well, the writing process, Charlie wasn't really there. He played it, but he didn't write a lot of it. Laugh, I Nearly Died. Did not like this one. Sweet Neocon. Okay, this was a badass song. The lyrics, the harmonica that sound like Old Stones. Hell yeah, all the way around on this one. Look What the Cat Dragged In. Sounds like a Steel Wheels holdover. Maybe they were flashing back to the 80s for the second. I don't know. Driving Too Fast. I may have missed Brand New Car, but this one I think is really just about driving too fast. I didn't catch anything different. Musically, it was okay. Had a good solo, but I mean, it's the Stones, so that's almost a given. Infamy was a decent Keith song, much better closing track than Slipping Away. This was a weird one. Like Beggars, it dipped towards the end, but I think the highs on Beggars were higher. I do have a top song contender from this album, so it's a middle of the road Stones record for me.
Word. I've got 4 top songs potential from this one.
Wow. Okay.
It Won't Take Long, Sweet Neocon. I thought Biggest Mistake was dope, and Oh No Not You Again is just fire as all hell. And then and yeah, um, I thought This Place Is Empty wasn't bad either. Like I enjoyed that song. Let's see what else. What else do we have? Laugh I Nearly Died again is just a really great song as well. Like I was shocked because I didn't know this record existed. Like I didn't know.
I
Thought it
didn't
was
either, really. Like,
I thought it was Bridge to Babylon and then Hackney Diamonds. Like I thought that was the gap at that point. So I had no idea this even came out in 2005. I was too busy up Baroness's ass, I think, at the time. For real.
Well, Purple is an amazing album.
That album is so good. But anyway, I liked this record a lot. I thought it sounded fresh. They sounded energetic. They sounded not like they were, 50 years at this point when this came out?
I think they're 60 at this point.
They haven't been around 80 years because it's
yeah,
2005.
no, they're 60 now. 60
Yeah, so
years.
40 years in.
Oh, you're talking. I thought you meant age.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
yeah, they're old.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, for that very reason, I thought
Because this was almost 20 years ago.
I thought that the songwriting sounded like they were, creative and interested in writing songs and stuff. It didn't sound like they were spinning their wheels. I enjoyed this record a lot. I honestly was not expecting to, but I did. I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
Everything Tim said about Bridges applied to A Bigger Bang for me. Like it was like a hit or miss, like great and then great, then
Yeah,
So it's
that's
kind
fair.
of the same for me on this one.
I mean, I like Streets of Love, but I like Sowing the Seeds of Love better.
That is a great song.
I have it at number 11.
Weird.
So it did beat out Dirty Work.
I will say just to put our mirrors together here, Jason, it's my number 6.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Got the late album surprises coming in. I love it.
Top 5 are going to be fun, guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they are. I've got it at 16. Is that where my mulligan happens?
No, I thought that was at 13. I think the mulligan was at 13.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to figure out which one is going to miss here. So, yeah, no, we're looking right. We're looking right. Yeah, that's where I want it.
Wow, that's crazy. Hold on, let me look at Cold Quit.
Well, we still got 5 that we haven't talked about yet. So,
well, we've got 7 we haven't talked about.
That's true.
So we got. Well, let's just get into it. Let's get into Blue and Lonesome.
All right. Well, mine will be short.
Mine too.
Short. I don't give a fuck about the blues. I never enjoyed them. It just doesn't do anything for me. I'd rather listen to a sad goth song than a sad blues song. That's just the way it goes, man. And the fact that this is also a covers record on top of that means that it doesn't matter a damn thing to me at all. But that said, the production and the work that went into the recording of it makes it a little bit better than some of the other covers records, in my opinion, but it's still a covers record.
See, it does sound great, but this is also a covers record this late into their career. The songs are great, the production's great, but it's just a covers record. And if you take something like Rage Against the Machine's Renegades, like that's a great covers record. To me, this was just it's like Aerosmith's Honkin' on Bobo. Like, who cares,
It's one of those things where it's like, they really like the blues, and these are probably a lot of songs that they always wanted to cover as a band. So they did it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. and I mean, God bless them for it, so much like Honkin' on Bobo, I remember when this one came out and expecting more of that, I skipped it. So this was the one I had to listen to in preparation for this show. And holy shit, I liked it a lot. Like, it's, I mean, you know, as far as the blues goes, yeah, it's you got to find your lane, and this is my blues lane. You know, I love me a good Willie Dixon song. I love Howlin' Wolf. I love Little Walter, and like it's all over this. And yeah, you know, going back to England's newest hit makers, they have been all about blues covers. And so, in a weird regard, I kind of like really dig the fact that they put this out. Like, clearly, they're just having fun.
See, Colquitt
Yeah.
and I are coming from a different perspective because we'd already been through like 17 hours of Stone in the last 3 weeks. Whereas you were like,
Sure.
oh, I only have to listen to one album. Oh, it's great. Me and Colquitt are like,
I listened to more. I only had to listen to one, but I listened to more.
Well, I listened to Flowers, and I didn't have to listen to that. So
Yeah, there you go.
we all went the distance at some point.
I think my favorite song on this one is probably "Commit a Crime."
mine's
Track
probably
2.
Can't Quit You, Baby.
Yeah, it's a really good cover of "I Can't Quit You, Baby" as well. If you're the title is very apropos of what you're getting on this album. It's super blues, and it's the kind of blues that you're going to listen to if you're blue and lonesome. Whether blue means sad or dirty is up to you. I think it's going to work both ways, because these are some dirty blues songs. And yeah, as far as modern, like, musicians who are alive who can authentically play the blues to the point where I want to listen to it at a crisp and high production level, I think the Stones are one of the few that can pull it off. Otherwise, I want it real dirty and like field recording quality, and you know, just a microphone in a field with a dude on a porch. Yeah, no, I was really happy with this one. I'm gonna hunt it down. I liked it a lot, and that's why I have it in between Bridges of Babylon and A Bigger Bang.
All right, Colquitt. I'm assuming that's not Hackney down here in red.
No, it's definitely not Hackney. Yeah, that's where it's going. It's if you like this band and you like the blues, you'll love this record. But otherwise, why the fuck would you listen to it? You know?
It's 26 for me just because it's the Rolling Stones. I don't want a covers record from the Rolling Stones in 2016.
Yeah, it's only a 23 because it sounds really good.
And
It
really,
does
in
sound really good.
2016, you just kind of take what you get from the Stones. Same as in 2023. You know, at this point, just
Yeah.
take it.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
take
honestly,
it.
I didn't know this was a thing either. The last thing I remember being was popular was 40 Licks, just because it came
I
out.
remember that one being big
bought
too.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Big
Yeah,
hit. That's it, man.
that was to celebrate their 40th anniversary
Yeah.
20 years ago.
Yeah, it came out when I was at around the same time as one by the Beatles. Actually, I think it was around that same era.
Oh yeah, sure.
Which tracks? Because those two, they're like bickering lovers. You know they love each other, but they've got to one up each other all the fucking time.
That's right.
That's a great album cover. We should have included that one.
Oh, Hot Rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is that Physical Graffiti?
No.
What this? No,
Rocks.
that's the back cover.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Hot Rocks. It's the greatest
Top
hit.
5 time.
No, we still
Well, we got one
Hackney.
more. We got one more.
Top 5 time.
Is this
Can't
one in
talk
your
about
top 5?
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
It's
you're
not in
pulling
my
it up.
top 5. I can't see what number it is there, but that's
It's
where
got to
it
be
goes.
12.
Yeah, it's got to be 12.
That's where it goes. Definitely check out our video where we review the album in full. It's a really good album, like especially for modern 2023. I'm super happy with it. My vinyl has yet to show up. but it's on its
Same.
way. Yeah.
Amazon.
I still think that like the Charlie songs are the highlight. Mess It Up and Live by the Sword. Bite My Head Off with Paul McCartney on bass is super cool. I really like Sweet Sounds of Heaven. Again, dealing with the modern era of the Stones that has lasted almost 40 years now. It's a solid album. It's a really good one. I think the one thing that really deterred Bridges to Babylon and The Bigger Bang were that they were too long. And I think this one kind of corrects that.
100%.
This is like the perfect length album.
100%.
Yeah. And so if you haven't heard this already, even though it's everywhere, definitely do yourself a favor and pick it up while you can.
Yeah.
Just don't order from Amazon.
No.
I'm still waiting on my green vinyl here. I guess
I can't wait.
We're at the top 5, and I'm gonna lead right into it with Hackney Diamonds.
Yeah, let's just go. Let's go. We'll do both for Hackneys. Let's go ahead.
This
cool.
Even when I went back and listened to it again for this ranking, it just grew on me even more. Like Tim said, it's the perfect length. It's not too short, not too long.
I do think the songs are better on Voodoo Lounge, and that's the only reason that this is lower than that as far as the modern ones go.
That's fair, and that's completely like a subjective thing to feel too. Like
yeah.
We've already covered this one, so I'll keep it short. Angry is a banger. I love how Get Close just creeps along. Sounds like a New York at night for me. Love the vocal melody on Depending on You. Bite My Head Off is a top song contender. Loved Whole Wide World. Dreamy was decent with the slide guitars. Messed It Up, the lyrics on the verses are great. The You Think I'll Mess It Up background vocals have still not grown on me. It's probably my least favorite song. Live by the Sword is top tier. Elton tears that shit up. Don't forget that sax solo.
So if I can interrupt you and go back to Mess It Up a little bit, that chorus really feels like it could have fit on like Undercover or Dirty Work, or it really kind of recalls that era again.
Oh yeah, totally. We know how I feel about that album. That decade.
Yeah.
Drive Me Too Hard has grown on me. Tell Me Straight, there's better key songs.
Yeah.
It's not bad, but Sweet Sounds of Heaven, top tier. Lady Gaga, Stones, we've already talked
Stevie
about that
Wonder.
in depth. Yeah. Rolling Stone Blues, I love how this is the closing track. Another shout out to the commenters who explained this to us in the comment section of our review of Sweet Sounds, or of the album. I think this is perfect length. It rocks. The 2023 has been a great year, and this is a nice surprise. So,
yeah, I love this record. I didn't think I would love this record, but the more I listen to it, the more I love it. Like Angry is so good. Bite My Head Off is so good. Like Jesus, Bite My Head Off is so good. Depending on You is really good. And I happen to think Tell Me Straight is the best Keith song of the entire discography for some reason.
Wow. Okay. I think we all said that about a different song.
Yeah, no, I mean that's totally fair because he's the wild card. He's always been. I think. But like, dude, that song kills. And then Rolling Stone Blues is just the perfect ending. Sweet Sounds of Heaven has even grown on me, even though it's still not my style. Like it's good though, especially after listening to this entire discography and coming to that point this late in it. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's a great fucking song, and I understand why you guys like it more than I do because you guys like this band a lot more than I do. So It's impressive as hell. Dreamy Skies is for real, just beautiful. Driving Me Too Hard is great. I still don't care for Live by the Sword, but I'm just not a honky tonk bar rock piano guy. It's just not my scene. But yeah, dude, like I think this record kicks ass and it's really good considering, I don't know, man. Considering everything that came before, this is like a perfect end note for their career. Like everything is on here, everything is good. It sounds phenomenal. It does have some modern songwriting kind of tropes added in, but that doesn't bother me. That makes me like it more because I wasn't raised in the 60s. I enjoy it. I love this record. It's great.
Is it your number 5? Is that what you're talking?
No, I just figured we were already talking about it. Let's go ahead and talk about it, kind of
Oh,
thing.
okay. That's fine.
Or you could just place it. Yeah.
It's my
Yeah,
number
that's cool.
2.
Whoa,
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? I didn't think it was going there, but that's where it's going. Number 2.
The point system doesn't lie.
It doesn't. It's weird.
So we're going to cut to the last commercial break. Stick around to see what album Colquitt likes better than Hackney Diamonds.
I guarantee you, Jason will hate it.
Yeah, I think I got an idea. I think I'm gonna plug a commercial for Yellow Submarine in here while we come back.
How about instead we don't?
Stick around, we'll be back.
Join the greatest band in history, the Beatles, in their greatest trip ever. We all live in a yellow submarine. Yellow Submarine is back as you've never seen or heard it before.
You could pass for the originals.
We are the originals.
With Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
The Beatles animated classic is surfacing again.
All you need is love.
But now it's digitally restored, newly remixed, and finished in 5.1 surround sound on video, DVD, and CD songtrack this fall.
Lucy in the sky with diamonds.
Don't miss the Beatles boat.
All together.
All aboard for Pepperland. It's the trip of your life.
We all live in a yellow submarine.
The Beatles, Yellow Submarine.
We're down to our top 4, right?
5. I still got to get my number 5.
Oh, and
Yeah.
start us off, Tim. What's your number 5?
Well, it's one of the few out of this discography I own on vinyl. So we're going to go with
Oh,
There
Emotional Rescue.
There it is,
I
man.
forgot all about that one.
Yeah, man.
Man, there is something about this album. Yeah, it's a little varied, but it is super funky and just like dirty. And the vinyl, like you get an original copy, man, it just comes alive out of the speakers.
Yeah.
Dance is
Part 1.
great. Well, I want to say part 1, but the vinyl doesn't include it. It's just called Dance. So,
Why is it called Part 1?
Yeah, I don't know.
Wish I knew. I wish I
was
knew.
curious about that. On Spotify, it's Dance Part 1. And
Yeah.
I was like, well, where's Part 2?
Hey, it'll
Yeah.
be like the Beatles now and then. 10, 15, 20 years from now, we'll get Dance Part 2.
Well, wait till we get to the Bungles and find out where Sleep Part 1 is. Yeah, like Send It To Me is super cool. Let It Go. Oh man, that song rips. But the real treasure on this album is the B-side. You're going to start with Where the Boys Go, which is just a fun little like club hopper. And then you get to that title track with the falsetto Mick.
See,
Just
I love
killing it. It's super disco. It's super new wave. It's super like, I just picture every time I put this album on, I just picture myself walking down the New York City streets, having a good time. And then there's She's So Cold, which is top tier. That is just an underrated banger of a song that is super catchy. Yeah, no, there's just something about this album that I really like. It's a real fun one. Every time I listen to it, I get rewarded with something new.
I respect
I would
Mick.
recommend it.
I respect Mick for hitting them falsettos, but I don't want to hear Mick hit them falsettos.
Okay.
What do you have against falsetto voices?
That might be the opening to the whole video right there.
There you go, guys. There you go. You're welcome. Honestly, dude, I don't even care because I was not on pitch. So
Yeah, no, that was perfect.
The other one I wrote down was only rock and roll Cold Quit intro because he said something funny there. But I think
honestly, that'll get more views.
Because it makes them want to punch people.
Yeah,
that'll
get more views because it'll piss off more people. I think that'll be like, who is this asshole? Click, click, click.
We might stick with that. We're not going to have any fans after Tool comes out anyway, so.
You're welcome.
No, you won't, because even I was starting to hate on the band after that recording. So,
and I was being nice. Stay tuned.
Shout out to Bo and Fortnite. I apologize for our Tool video.
No. But look out for the top songs where Tim really goes ham on that one.
Yeah.
He just picks the worst songs he can possibly pick and puts them in the top.
I couldn't tell a difference.
And that's okay. I still love it.
All right, Cold Quit, what's your number 5?
But I am going to take a shot. My number 5. What is my number 5? I think it is Voodoo Lounge. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I really liked it was the first, because I listened chronologically, and again, if you're this far, you might have forgotten that this is the first time I've listened to any of these records all the way through. And I was just shocked at like how the bass was pumping me. Everything just sounded like probably like they wanted all of their original records to sound like, honestly. Like, it just sounds so good. And every record after this sounds great, but this one just has a special thing going for it. Love is Strong, dude. I remember when that video was on 24/7 on MTV, and I didn't care for it then, but holy shit, what a difference almost 30 years makes. It was a super great song, really good. You Got Me Rockin's like a throwback that I wouldn't have appreciated until now. I thought Moon Is Up was the weirdest song I've ever heard by this band, and it's not even that weird. It's just the vocal production on it and everything else is just so weird and beautiful and magical. And this album has a song called Suck on the Jugular, which, holy shit. Like, I was not expecting all them on at this late in their career, but this song is fire. Yeah, dude, it's just a great record, man. I listened to it twice, in fact, because I enjoyed it so much the first time. Like, I went back on we're doing, and just super good. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much because my memory of it growing up was that my future stepdad was really into the band. He loves the Beatles too. Like, the Stones and the Beatles are his groups, and he like went to go see him in New Orleans for this tour and bought me a t-shirt, and I was like, fuck you, old man. But no, he's a guy. Hey, what's up, Larry? You're pretty awesome. But yeah, man. Just Brand New Car is awesome. Out of Cheese awesome. Sorry I called you RoboCop. Yeah, man. Just man, I enjoyed it a lot.
All right.
I don't know where I'm going. Obviously, the whiskey is taking effect.
I think the whiskey hit your internet too.
Oh, did it drop out?
It didn't drop out, but
that's gonna be really funny.
You did get a RoboCop voice going on,
like,
though.
Sorry, I called you RoboCop.
I was RoboCop. No, yeah, he used to wear a headgear, so we called him RoboCop.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Okay. So I apologize. But yeah, no, cool dude, cool record. Thanks.
All right, Tim, what's your number 4?
Well, I don't know if you guys want to jump in the Wayback Machine with me, but we got to go all the way back to Aftermath.
No, that is a way back.
It's the so we went with the US version, which is going to start with Paint It Black, which is absolutely like I mean, it's one of the best songs ever recorded in the genre of rock and roll. Um, and one thing that I always notice every time I listen to it, like if you want to learn how to play punk rock drums, just play Paint It Black. And that's every good punk rock song you're covered. Under My Thumb is an absolute classic. Yeah, there's so many good things on here. This is another one, though, where I'm going to throw out the UK edition. Instead of opening with Paint It Black, it opens with a little song called Mother's Little Helper, which is a classic.
Mother's Little Helper's from this era?
Yeah. Yeah.
That song kicks ass.
That song's great. And then the B-side, like the US edition, it has 5 songs, and they're all fine. But there's 8 on the UK, and they, for some reason, the US left off all the best ones. Like Out of Time is top tier. Take It or Leave It is amazing. Yeah, I think Aftermath, especially if you're looking at the 60s Stones, this is probably the height of it.
Okay,
like,
so Flowers,
this is definitely the height of the 60s stuff.
Flowers has all the B-sides from this apparently on it. So
that's like a UK compilation to kind of make up for the US editions.
Because Take It or Leave It's on Flowers too, I think.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a great song.
Great song, yeah.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Aftermath, number 4.
All right. Colquitt, what's your number 4?
Okay, look, man. I thought this was going to be my number 1, but that all changed after my second playthrough. And then I thought it was going to be my number 3, but then the second playthrough, man, it changed things. Some Girls is my number 4. It's so good. I love this record. I love it a lot. I thought it was going to be my number 1. In fact, my initial impressions, it was my number 1. It's just fire. It's amazing. Let's see. Top tracks for me. Miss You, dude. Holy shit. I didn't know that was a Rolling Stones song. I thought that was some other band song. I had no idea that was a Rolling Stones jam at all. Like, holy shit. It's so good. Lies, so good. Even Just My Imagination Running Away From Me is the only cover I really love a lot. Like, it's so good. When the Whip Comes Down, so good. Dude, Shattered, holy shit. And Beast of Burden, obviously, I don't even have to say anything about that, but Shattered, yo, that song fucking rules. And yeah, dude, it's just a fire ass album, man. I second playthrough, it didn't hit me as hard as the first playthrough, though, and that's the only reason why it's number 4 and not number 1. That's it.
So a real fun back to back for you is Shattered and She's So Cold from Emotional Rescue. Those 2 songs work really well together.
I will when we make the playlist on top songs, we should keep that in mind.
They're both going to be on there regardless. So.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely. Both of those are on my list too. So it'll.
Nice. Perfect. Okay.
My number 4 is Goat's Head Soup.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
So out of all the 70s records, I didn't even know this one existed, and my dad didn't have it. So this one like came out of nowhere for me. Dancing with Mr. D. I guess I should go back here.
Can't wait to talk about the artwork later.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be a fun one. I got some questions on that one. Oh, man.
What's happening?
Holy crap, what a fucking opener. I like this dirtier sound for the Stones. 100 years ago, I loved it. Really liked the slower piano, Call Me Lazy Bones part. Coming Down, didn't really care for it. It was pretty, but it was a little repetitive. Do, Heartbreaker. Sad lyrics. Didn't like the do background, but other than that, the song was fantastic. Angie, it's epic. some of Mick's best vocals. Silver Train, loved it. Funny it was a B-side to Angie, because prostitutes and all. It's a bluesy, decent jam. Hide Your Love, this one sounded really familiar. Was it a single? I don't know.
I don't think that one was, no.
The piano was really familiar for me.
Might have been in a movie or something.
Winter, I really liked the guitar in this one. It was almost singing the song by itself. Can You Hear the Music? That one was okay. Kind of went on a little long, but Star, top tier. Love this song. The lyrics, the Chuck Berry riffs, was a damn good closer. I've never really heard this album until this review. Not sure why it's remembered as your Exiles and your Stickies. It had a few filler tracks for me, like Coming Down Again and Can You Hear the Music? But overall, this album blew me away. Like, this is some damn good Stones.
I feel like this was their artiest record at the time. And yeah, I don't know. It just didn't click with me for some reason, but that's probably because I was not aware of everything else in their discography by the time I listened to this too. So
Star is supposed to be called Starfucker, and that's how the band calls it.
Oh yeah, no, I did look at the lyrics when I was listening to it because I heard it. I was like, oh, wait a second. I heard a naughty word. Let's go check that out.
This was actually the one that really kind of sent me down the spiral. This was the first one I really just kind of listened to and went, oh, I need to pay attention.
Right.
Yeah, it's, obviously, like, doing the deep dive into the discography, I found stuff I like more. But I don't even remember what it was, but something told me to listen to that album, and it did. It sent me down a spiral. It's a great one.
All right.
Being reborn.
Cole quit. I think it's your turn to go first.
All right. Well, Sticky Fingers time, guys.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Tim, it's up to you and I now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew it was between these two, 3 and 4 for me. God damn, dude. Like,
wow.
First off,
okay.
I don't think anybody else song, but Moonlight Mile is literally one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, that actually turned this record to be up in the top 3 for me. Like, it's just so good. I mean, Wild Horses obviously is so good. Brown Sugar is amazing. Sister Morphine makes me wish I was on morphine. Dead Flowers as well. Just a beautiful song. And Bitch, dude. Like, dude, this whole record, start to finish, even Can't You Hear Me Knocking, which was probably my least favorite, is still so good. Like, I can't go wrong with it, man. I want to track down and spend hundreds of dollars on the authentic vinyl with the zipper that Jason has. That's fucking cool as hell. Yeah, I mean, I just don't know. This record just kicks ass. I've always heard about it. It's talked about as one of the top rock records of all time, and I never gave it a shot, and I'm really glad I did. And Moonlight Mile will forever be in my soul. It's that fucking good. It's such a good closer. Probably my favorite closer of all these albums, honestly. It's just that good. I love that song.
That's a strong contender, honestly.
Yeah, man, dude, holy shit. Like, I was not expecting to be emotionally affected after all being emotionally affected for the entire record. And that hits and you're just like, shit. Yeah, let's go. So good.
All right, my number 3 is Voodoo Lounge.
Wow.
What are you laughing for?
I'm just amazed. Like, it's funny to me how we're all gonna kind of land in the same spot, but we all have that weird wild card album up in the top 5 that's like, oh, you guys thought this one sucked? I think it's one of the best.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
not that anybody thought Voodoo Lounge sucked, but like, yeah, it's funny to me.
All right. Well, my notes are written as if I'm listening through the whole discography. So, Love is Strong, finally back to some decent Stones. Love Mick's vocal changes in this one. The harmonica is back. I'm all in. You Got Me Rockin' is a decent rocker. A fine track, too, if there ever was one. Sparks Will Fly. The chorus is so catchy. The Worst. Keith sounds phenomenal on this track. There's some country twang going on, but the strings add so much. Has us sitting on a rocking chair in front of Cracker Barrel vibe. New Faces. What instrument is that? Is it a harpsichord, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's a great one. It's slow, but the production and everything is just crystal clear. Moon Is Up feels like a Steel Wheels leftover to me. Out of Tears was the ballad, and boy, they wore the hell out of this on MTV back in the day. It's not my favorite Rolling Stones song, but it's still a pretty damn good song.
Wait, that was on MTV?
Yeah, Out of Tears.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's why I recognized it. Okay.
Oh
All
yeah,
right, cool.
they played the hell out of that.
Yeah, that was a big hit.
Thought it was beautiful.
I Go Wild's classic Stones through and through. Brand New Car. Okay, when I was 14, this went right over my head. I was like, all right, well, dude just really likes his car. Now, though, jack her up, baby. Go on, open the hood. I want to check if her oil smells good. Smells like caviar. Okay, yeah, I got you, mate.
Yeah. No engine smells like caviar, Jason.
A little late, but you got it.
Got that one. Sweethearts Together. I usually skip this one back in the day, but it's got like a chill island vibe going on. But it's a little long. Suck on the Jugular. Charlie's drum beat on this is just sexy as hell. It gets pretty funky. The lyrics are kind of dumb, but the music's great. Blinded by Rainbows. This is a top tier song, Stone song for me since I was 14. The lyrics, the melody, everything about it just hits me. Baby Break It Down, always good as well. Coming After Rainbows, I heard a lot because I had the CD. Like, this was my first Rolling Stones record that I had, like on CD. And I'd put it in just to listen to hear Rainbows. So I always hear the rest of the album. Through and through, I don't get how Keith's vocals can go from so good and clear to sounding like he's 90. This one's kind of boring for me. The album could have been without it. Mean Disposition, great closer, piano breakdown, guitars chugging along, playing scales. It's upbeat, love it. Maybe nostalgia, I don't know, but like this was the 90s Stones for me. This is what I grew up with, and I played this just as much as my Pearl Jam Vitology CD or my whatever else was out in 94 or 5 or
Siamese
Blue
Dream.
Album Weezer.
A lot of stuff.
yeah, I probably played as much as the Blue Album.
I mean, this is my top 5 too, dude. That record rules. I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, Tim, put it down at 11. Oh my god.
It's okay.
It's a great album.
It's okay. He put Majesty in a proper spot, I think. So, it's all right.
Well, you want to pull a mulligan and put your Majesty in 8th place?
Hell, fuck no. We'll get there, though.
All right, Tim, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is going to be Let It Bleed.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, Gimme Shelter. There's strong argument that that's the best Rolling Stones song. End of sentence. Strong argument for that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Love in Vain is a classic Robert Johnson cover that they do a great version of. The dark horse for me on this album is Live With Me. Love that song, that bass intro, and then just that great guitar, great lyrics. Midnight Rambler, You Got the Silver, Can't Always Get What You Want. Like, this is a classic album for a reason. Every song on here is really good. And I mean, I think there's a couple albums that are a little better, but this is a strong contention for, this is probably in the top 50 greatest rock and roll albums of all time.
I mean,
you like rock and roll.
10 of these albums are in the top 50, though.
Say yours again, Colquitt.
Oh, I was going to say probably 10 of these will be in the top 50. Great.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, let's say 5, but 10 are in the top 100. But this is an incredible album that should absolutely be heard by anybody with any interest in a guitar or drums or music.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great album.
Well, Colquitt's already given us his number 2.
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right.
I think you and I have the same 2 left, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
I think we do.
You want to we'll do a countdown to 3 and we'll both say a number 2 at the same time and see if it matches?
I'm so
Sure.
curious.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Sticky Fingers.
Some girls.
Oh,
Oh,
I mean, you're both right.
damn.
You want to go or you want me to go?
You go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, yeah, I love this album. When it comes down to it, and I'll get into why I picked Sticky Fingers over it. And it's because of imagination. It's like it's a great cover, but I could do without it. And really, like, as much fun as Far Away Eyes is, if I'm like really getting into this album, I'll skip that one. But Miss You is classic Disco Stones that just rips. When the Whip Comes Down, it's awesome. The title track, Some Girls Give Me Money, Some Girls Give Me Clothes. Beast of Burden, classic. Shattered, classic. Respectable, Lies. Yeah, this just an amazing album. And then when they put out the deluxe edition a few years ago, I picked up the CD where a whole bonus disc of outtakes, and like they're just as good. Like this was an inspired session, and definitely one of the ones I reach for. And much like Colquitt kind of went into this discography thinking it would be my number 1. But then I listened to another one again and I went,
Yeah, I know,
can't
man.
deny it.
I'm the
can't
opposite.
deny it.
I went in thinking Sticky was going to be my number 1.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, hey, man, that's why we do the show. That's beautiful.
All right, so Sticky Fingers.
You're gonna make me go last? Okay. No,
Sure.
I apologize.
I mean, it's Sticky Fingers. Come on, it's banger after fucking banger on this album. This album's where they got their logo, the tongue logo. Like, you got Brown Sugar's the opening track. Mick said years later, though, he wouldn't write a song like that now. But lyrics aside, the song is a banger through and through. Sway, holy shit, so good. Slide guitar solo, the cymbal crashes. Wild Horses, top tier. I didn't know this, but this was recorded in Muscle Shores, Alabama.
Yes.
That's crazy. It's sad. It's soulful. It's just one of their best ballads. Can't You Hear Me Knocking? I love the sound Keith got out of his guitar on this one. And the jam at the end was like total improv. They didn't even know they were still being recorded when they did it. What about that sax? You Gotta Move, a cover, sung really weird, but it's okay. It's definitely like the lowest point on the record. Bitch is another rocker. The horns escalate the main riff, but doesn't oversaturate it like a lot of bands do when they bring in horns. Still a fantastic guitar solo. I Got the Blues, one of my highlights on Sticky. I love that Otis Redding slow blues feel on this one. The way Mick laid out the lyrics with the bridge leading right into the third verse, that every night you've been away, I sat down and I've prayed that you're safe, right into the next verse of In the Arms of the Guy Who Will Bring You Alive. Sister Morphine, mostly acoustic, dark ass lyrics. Dead Flowers, another one with Mick doing weird shit with his voice, trying to sound country. Music is amazing though. Great guitar solo. Moonlight Mile. I prefer Wild Horses, but Moonlight is no slouch in the Stones ballad department. The strings really help it out. The slow drum fills from Charlie push the song. I was raised on this album. It was ingrained on me very early. It just that's why I went Some Girls, because this one kind of slumps a little bit at the end, but not counting Moonlight. But
Yeah,
Again,
no,
the slump here is like better than most albums' best songs. Like, you know, this is a
Very true.
top tier fucking Rolling Stones album, or just
Can't
a rock
argue.
album. Period.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah,
Agreed.
and I'll just follow right up with you. Are the lyrics a little problematic in Brown Sugar? Doesn't matter. That
Yeah.
song rips. Sway is amazing. If you haven't heard the Melvins cover of it, you should definitely check that out. It's
No, I haven't.
Google Wild Horses. Many people would argue top tier Stones album. And the reason why this album is my number one is because Wild Horses is the low point on the album for me.
Agreed, dude. It's so good, but
it's so good. Yeah, Can't You Hear Me Knocking is top tier. I love that riff. I love just the groove. And then there's the whole second half. You Gotta Move, it's a cover, but they do it well. Bitch is one of my favorite riffs in this entire catalog. Love that song. And then, yeah, like Jason said, the horns like accentuate it perfectly. I Got the Blues is great. Sister Morphine, super dark, super great. I got a fun story about Dead Flowers.
Yeah.
Like, it was just kind of like the weird country song on here until I saw country music star Dierks Bentley and Pearl Jam guitarist Mike McCready do a duet on it in a record store. And then I went, okay, I get the song now. And yeah, that's a great song. Like, super dark lyrics that, I mean, I know a couple people who all leave roses on their graves. And then, as Colquitt mentioned earlier, yeah, Moonlight Mile is top tier. That is just a super dirgy,
just gorgeous.
It's a gorgeous song. Yeah, I love that song. It's been on my personal playlist now for a decade. Like, it's one of my favorite songs in the catalog. And going through these albums, like, yeah, there is just not a bad moment on this album.
Absolutely.
And yeah, if you gotta pick a best, like, we're all pretty much in the ballpark, but I think my pitch is landing on this one.
Yeah, if anything, from going through the discography, hearing Moonlight Mile is like literally the most mind-blowing experience I had.
It's a great song.
So good.
Great song.
Well, Jason, you're the only one that hasn't talked about Some Girls yet, so you should go ahead and go first, and I'll ruin it all later.
Yeah, I'm trying to find my notes for it.
Oh.
My notes are all out of whack.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we've got 26 albums we're working with.
Yeah. All right, Some Girls.
I haven't seen the other artwork yet. That's nice.
Oh, did you pull the sleeve out?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's got all them in drag. Man, Charlie's an ugly woman.
So
I don't know if you guys could see that, but
we can't all be Mick,
True. But I mean, even his pictures aren't very flattering.
Well, he's not the most attractive man. I was making a joke.
Like, the opening of this record is ingrained in my head. I think after Hot Rocks, I think this is the Stones record that my dad played the most. So there may be some nostalgia bias on it. I don't know. But Miss You is just ingrained in my head. When the Whip Comes Down, it's a rocker. The lyrics are ahead of its time. Just My Imagination, great song. Charlie does some good shit on it. Really, the whole album, like, Charlie fucking shines on this record. Some Girls, they took a lot of shit for that song, with I don't know if I can say the line on YouTube. Black girls just want to. But the song itself is top tier. The harmonica, the solo, it has that New York feel to it. Lies, the song fucking rips. Faraway Eyes, like Miss You. I heard this one because it's the first song on the B side. So like I heard it so much.
Have you heard this one? The More Hot Rocks?
No, I just have the first one.
Okay, yeah.
It's a country western song, but it tells a story. It's a top song contender for me. Get a Girl with Faraway Eyes. Respectable, fast tempo, great lyrics. Before They Make Me Run, probably one of my favorite Keith Sung songs. I did not know the background of it until recently, though, so that scored extra points for it. Beast of Burden, I love that song. One of my favorite songs. Stone songs, period. Charlie's drumming on it. I have fond memories of my mom singing that. Like, even to this day, she's like, "To be my beast of burden." Shattered. I see your Moonlight Mile, but I raise you Shattered.
Dude, I mean, it is a toss-up for me, honestly.
Yeah,
like
they're both top
Moonlight
tier.
Mile. Like, I feel like Shattered would have worked anywhere on this record. It didn't have to be the closer. It could have been good anywhere. But Moonlight Mile as a closer is just a little bit better. That's all.
Yeah, it's probably a better closer.
But Shattered is forever, man. Like, it's so good.
Shattered's such a weird song for 1978 to be on this record. Like it fits more on a later record, but
yeah, it's almost
the
a
vocal
90s
delivery
jam.
of it is just like, don't you know the crime rates are going up, 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 up?
Oh,
When I think of the Rolling Stones, this is the first record I think of, followed by Sticky Fingers. I love the energy on this one more. It almost has a punk vibe going for it. It's got like this New York dirty slouch, like
It's
just
got
so
some
many
New York
top song
Dolls
contenders.
vibes going on, for sure.
So yeah, this is haha, Lucille Ball. I got you. Yeah. Fantastic. Phenomenal record. That leaves us on a rather
psychedelic note.
psychedelic
For
note.
you, yeah. All right, look, man. I love psychedelics. I love psychedelic music. I love anything of that vibe because that's just what I resonate, man. And dude, I know you hate Jason. I get it. But dude, when I heard Citadel for the first time, I was like, what the fuck am I listening to? This is well and above anything I was expecting from this band. I mean, I've heard She's a Rainbow plenty of times before because it's just a radio hit. It's always there. But dude, I didn't know 2000 Light Years from Home was going to happen. I didn't know that my life was going to be changed by this record. And it happened, man. Like dude, this record kicks ass, man. Even like Sing All This, See What Happens as a reprise is just clapping my hands. Like to be fair, most of my favorite listening experiences happen when I'm in the shower taking a shower. And this was one of those morning shower listens that literally set my mind and soul aglow in a way that I wasn't expecting in any fucking way. And when I'm driving to work, and that's when I hit the Gomper and then 2000 Light Years and then on with the show. And I'm just like, it's going to be a great day. This is going to be a good day, man. This record just matters in a way I wasn't expecting it to for me. I mean, 2000, man. 2000, man. 2000, man. I am a 2000 man. Like, literally, like in kindergarten, they already knew I was going to be in the class of 2000. I graduated in the year 2000. That song kind of resonates in a way I wasn't expecting it to, in a dark and sad way, but it still resonates. Like, man, dude,
2000, man, huh?
Ass.
It was about 20 years ago today.
Yeah, about.
Okay,
anyway,
Billy Shears.
Like, I understand why you hate this, Jason. I do, but for all the reasons you hate it are the reasons why I love it so much. It is so good. Like my top 5, I'm gonna go back and listen to multiple times in my lifetime from here on out for sure. And this one, I have a feeling like like there's counter melody and there's just really cool musical things happening on this record that I was not expecting, especially considering I went chronologically and the records before this just did not hit this level at all musically. Like they were very
so let me ask you your thoughts on a band called Monster Magnet.
Honestly, I would like to review the records because I only know that big hit.
Well, they're definitely from this vein. They even do a cover of 2000 Light Years from Home.
Do?
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, they're a very psychedelic, like hard rock band.
No, like anytime there's an interview with that guy, I read it because that guy is awesome. But I've never actually like all I know is Space Road Motherfucker.
Yeah, that's the hit. But
yeah, but I go back and read interviews with him from that era, and he was like, yeah, I wrote that like on a bender in a hotel room for like after 4 hours. Like he wrote the entire record in 4 hours or some shit. Like, good work, man. Like, I mean, I'm not a big Flaming Lips guy either, but I appreciate them. And I think I will appreciate them more after listening to this record for sure. Like, there's a lot of stuff I didn't know until now, and I appreciate that I know it now. You know,
I can dig it.
My oldest daughter was almost named Yoshimi. My second.
That's a very good name.
Yeah, and then I told my wife what that album was really about, and she was like, "Oh, okay."
Well, to be fair, if I have a daughter, I have a name for it already, and I already know the mother will be like, "Fuck you, no, that's from a fantasy book. Get fucked." You know, since it is what it is. Avienda, by the way, that's the name. Avienda. It's a beautiful name.
All right, so the Rolling Stones, we made it.
We still got artwork and top songs, though.
My top 5, I would definitely. I mean, I've heard my 5, my 3, my 2, my 1 multiple times now. Definitely could go back to Goat's Head plenty of times. Definitely could go back to Babylon because it did something. I mean, Let It Bleed's a classic. You know. Yeah, I mean,
it's a solid discography. Even and like I alluded to earlier, you throw these on repeat, you hear a couple of them a couple of times, and the next thing you know, your last place is going to be like, yeah, I can get into this.
Yeah, I mean, I could easily put Let It Bleed higher. I could put Exile higher. It was tough.
Well, yeah. I can say for sure that I'm going to go back and listen to Goat's Head and Emotional Rescue again because apparently I should check those out more.
I guess I'll go back and listen to Satanic Majesty again.
Well, it's okay, Jason. It's all right.
Yeah, definitely check out 2000 Light Years from Home. That song rips. That's top tier. And Citadel. But I mean, you know, if you didn't like it, maybe listen to like, you know, Goat Heads a couple more times.
Yeah, because I feel like Goat's Head is definitely the successor to this record in a way, for sure.
In a way, yeah, I could see that. I can see that in a way.
It's just artsy.
Yeah, I mean, it's been fun. Thank God we only have 9 records to listen to next week.
Right, only.
And to be fair, they're going to be a little bit easier to get through, except for Clarity, which is going to be, if you can get through Goodbye Sky Harbor, I love you, because I love that song, but it's 17 minutes or 22 minutes song.
Hey, we haven't done Sonic Youth yet, so.
That's true. And that's going to be a longer discography on top of that. So it's going to be
after that, we only got 3 records. But Revolution.
Yeah. And well, I mean, should we just go ahead and throw Bikini Kill and La Tigre together and just do both of them at the same time?
Or who?
La
Tigre and Bikini Kill.
Is this a conversation we need to be having while we're wrapping this episode up?
Absolutely.
We've come this far. If you've made it this far,
Jesus Christ!
I just need to use the bathroom.
We've been here 3 hours.
Yeah, I got to use the bathroom too. So,
dude, I got to shit.
Wrap it up.
This has been
Wrap
our
it up, B.
rant
All
and
right.
rank for the Rolling Stones. You know, this band deserves all the attention, all the praise, all the time. I'm glad we did it. I'm not scared of Tom Petty's catalog anymore, or REM or any of those.
Yeah, Jesus.
So yeah, stick around, subscribe, like, leave us a comment down below. Tell us how fucked up we are for our top 5. Or
And
say,
thanks for making it this far. Like, really. Like, thank you for watching.
we appreciate you. With that, be safe and make good decisions.
And listen to Hackney Diamonds.
Yeah,
It's really
check
good.
out Hackney Diamonds.
It's a really good record.